One, I'm excited to have everyone on the call today. I believe mothers are still joining us. Thank you for joining us today. I believe we all had a very beautiful and productive week. Okay, so my name is Mercy and I'll be your anchor for today as usual. All right, without further waste of time, I just want to take few announcements. So first is that we are gradually coming to an end of the 12-week program, and you would agree with me, it's been informative, insightful, and educative. So we've learned a lot. All right, so today is day 10. And we are just 2 weeks away. So I'm glad we are drawing the curtain close. So I also want to say that if you still have some of the assessments pending for you to do, please use this week. This week is the deadline for all pending assessment. This week is the final one. So like I posted on the group earlier this week, please, we will not be entertaining any complaints about assessment after this week. So please, if you still have some assessment to do, please go ahead and do them and submit it before the end of this week. All right, moving forward. So we have an exciting news for every one of us. Okay, so just give me a moment to share my screen for that. As you are joining, please sign the attendance. All right, so we have an announcement for everyone on the call, whether you are here and the people that will be joining us later. So the announcement says we shall have a Facebook Live session with all the students on the 18th of August. Please feel free to join the session. It will be on Facebook. So we crave your indulgence to join us on the 18th of August. The time will be communicated with every one of us. Likely is going to be in the evening. So please, we crave your indulgence to be in attendance. All right. Thank you so very much for that. So the next announcement is going to be that the next announcement is that we have a video challenge coming up for everyone on the call. So we have 50%, we have 50,000 Naira up for grabs for first, second, and third. I didn't get that. Project. Okay, sorry about that. All right. It's projected now. Can everyone see it? Hello, Madam Edith. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. So the video challenge.
Go ahead.
All right. Is 50,000 Naira worth of challenge? You might think it's small, but at least we want everyone to participate. So we have the first, second, and the third winners. And to qualify in this challenge, number one, make a 1-minute video about how Transformation College of Business and Technology has changed or improved your life. Number two, post the said video on your Facebook handle. 3, tag us, that's Transformation College of Business and Technology, and invite your friends to like our page. Get at least 5 of your friends to follow our page. 5, the video must be posted on Facebook on or before 19th of August 2024. So you can start posting your video as of today. Can start posting your videos from today onward. Then this challenge ends on the 23rd of August, so we do not have time. The winners will be announced on the day of graduation, which is 31st August 2024. Remember, winners will be selected based on the highest number of likes. Also note that we will be awarding 20 likes to the video that speaks the most value to us. So please, we need this challenge. We need your engagement. Please go ahead and do it starting from today. These announcements will come up again later in our class today. All right. So without further waste of time, please, as you join, fill up the attendance as you join. Thank you. So without further waste of time, I'll be introducing our first speaker for today in the person of Segun Lawal. Segun is a seasoned management consultant. I'm sorry, my screen is blocked. Oh, please, I'm sorry for that. Segun is a seasoned management consultant specializing in HR innovations and strategy. His extensive experience underscores his proficiency in leveraging innovative approaches to enhance organizational performance and efficiency within the realm of human resource management. He has worked at top management level across various industries, shaping high-performing teams and delivering value through people-focused programs. He's a graduate of marketing, has a chartered postgraduate diploma in marketing from National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria, and holds an MBA in human resource management. He is a member of National Institute of Training and Development, also a member Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management in Nigeria. Segun has undergone several trainings in HR management, business analysis, and leadership. Segun is a facilitator and has trained many youths, graduates, and professionals in leadership, HR management, soft skill trainings, entrepreneurship, and capacity building programs. He has served as a panelist with Financial Institution Training Company, FITC, for staff promotion exercises. He has done same with notable federal government financial institutions like Federal Mortgage Bank Nigeria, National Insurance Commission, etc. Segun has worked on several training projects with the Central Bank of Nigeria, Deposit Insurance Corporation, Transmission Company of Nigeria, Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, Nigerian Society of Engineers, NISAL, to mention a few. Segun is a facilitator with Piston and Fusion Business Academy, Lagos, Training Heights Limited, Abuja, FITC, Abuja. He was also a facilitator for the Young Africa Works project implemented by IATA and funded by MasterCard. He is a director at HSF Foods Limited, the Chief Operating Officer at Medivolt Healthcare Limited, specializing in recruitment, training, and capacity building for healthcare institutions. The Vice President, Family Bond Helping Hands Foundation. Shegun is a lead consultant at Wisdom Scroll Consulting, Abuja. Please, with a thunderous clap in the chat box, please can we welcome our face trainer for today, who will be taking us on. I'm sorry for that. Who will be taking us on social intelligence and negotiation. Please welcome Shegun. Shegun, please, you can take it off from here.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much. Nice having you around again. Nice to be here one more time. I want to appreciate everyone for this. Let me think. I want to appreciate everyone for this wonderful time you have spared, and I appreciate this great institution for having us on board. I believe we're going to have a very pleasant moment together. Very quickly, please, if you are with me, I'd like you to share, come up on your video and let me see your face. Just say a hi, hello, 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 hello. Let's make the whole place rowdy right now. I just want to see your video if you can. Say hello, wave, do something outside the box. I just want you to feel, I want to feel that you're here with me and you're not cooking. Say hi, hello. I'm not seeing anyone yet. Hello, hello, thank you. I'm seeing some chats. Okay, we are muted. Can you please help me unmute them? Admin, I want to hear everyone speak. I want to hear lovely voices around here. Hello, hi, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. I can see a lot of people saying hi. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, good to have you. Good to have you. Yeah, I'm seeing James. James is the first video I'm seeing. Thank you, James. Thank you, James. Yeah. Yeah, it's so wonderful to be here. We will be looking at a very important part of life today and part of the workplace, the future of work. Many of us count a lot of things important, but today you will come to realize that a lot of other things are more even important than what you think in the future of work, in the future of your career, the business space, and what have you. I see great quality leaders emerging from this project, from this institution, and I believe that we are here for a purpose, and we will be happy together at the end of this program. But one thing is important. I'd like you to ask yourself, who do I want to become after this training? Write that down. That's the first thing. I was just chatting someone now and I said, goals before appraisal. If you don't set the goals, what are we appraising you about or over? So you need to be definite, be objective to say, what exactly do I want to achieve after this training? Who do I want to become after this training? What quality of life do I want to come up with? Many people go through stuffs like this. Thank you. I like Lawal. That's my namesake. I want to be a better version of myself. Yeah, that's so sweet. If you can drop what you want to become, we'd like to see it in the chat box. Who do you want to become after this training? Who do you want to become after this training? Set your goals before starting your race. It's very important. Set your goals before starting your race. And so for this morning, we'll be looking at a very important topic just before us. And as much as possible, we're going to make it very practical because one of the things that has killed learning in this part of the world is nothing but, drawing aside practicality, and we face a lot of theory. We make things too complicated somehow by not being practical about them. Okay, I hope you can all see my screen. Sharing my screen. Great. Okay. So what we have before us is social intelligence and negotiation skills. Social intelligence and negotiation skills. May I tell you that a research was made, and one of the things that was, identified in this research, according to Harvard, was that the future of work, soft skills will be more important than technical skills. It means people will be hired for who they are, not just what they can do. People will be hired for who they are. I mean, the component of the quality of personality they portray or they have developed over time better than I'm a graduate of accounting, I'm a graduate of whatever. So social intelligence is the ability to successfully build relationships and navigate social environments. Ability means it could be high, it could be low, it could be medium, it could not be there, it might not be there rather. But the ability for you to successfully build relationship. You can start relationship, you can keep relationship, but most importantly, build and maintain relationship. I hope you're getting what I'm saying. You can start relationship. Starting a relationship does not mean managing relationship. Some people start to fail, some people start to endure, some people start to stop. But when we talk about social intelligence, now your ability inside of you to successfully build relationship and navigate social environment. Now, if you have good relationship with people, it helps your immune system. Someone will say, how? You'll be happy. Now, I got to understand this one of my recent birthdays, and I got a surprise gift from someone I didn't even expect, sent a whole lot of people, with the band, with the saxophone, cake, speakers. In fact, I was just in my room trying to, dress up, and I just had a loud blast of something like a trumpet. Like, I was like, what's going on? Only to come to my sitting room and see, a saxophone. Immediately I came out, they started the song, they played the speaker, dancing like a crowd. I was like, what? Who is this? I didn't see anyone I could recognize. Now, I now got to know that it was one of my clients who surprised me. Now, it shows how the person places me and the value placed on our relationship. Aside several other gifts. Now, what touched me most were the comments. So someone said, if you die now, what will people write on your day of burial? And there's that exercise book. There's that exercise book where people begin to write their comments about a life well lived, a terrible human being, very nice, I can't forget you, you're gone so soon, and all that. What people write about you. So if you have a good social, strong relationship, it improves your immune system, and loneliness will make you weak because you are just there on your own. Now, our relationship affects every area of our lives, from colleagues to spouses to friends and what have you. Okay, now there are 7 ways to increase your social intelligence. That is your ability, don't forget, to successfully build relationship and navigate social environment. Let's look at the 7 ways. Number 1, respect cultural differences. So I might be Yoruba, you are Igbo. You must first identify your cultural strengths and weaknesses. Every culture has a strength, every culture has a weakness. So one of the weaknesses of every culture is that don't expect people to behave the way you are raised. It's psychological. It's just there in everyone. We just expect a Yoruba man expects you to respect him like he's being respected from where he's coming from. That could be wrong. You are greeting him, he expects you to bow your head and say, good morning, sir, and put sir. To other tribes, it doesn't mean, that doesn't collate, or equate to respect to them. That doesn't mean they are portraying a respectful behavior. Now, We also have, so you have to respect cultural differences. Practice active listening with empathy. Practice active listening with empathy. You know, hey, well, so there's this exercise we do in training that you touch your ears and say, God gave me 2 ears and 1 mouth so that I should listen more than I talk. Okay? 2 ears and 1 mouth so that I should listen more than I talk. Empathy is to put yourself in another person's shoes. The next thing is become genuinely interested in people. Many of us are just in our own corner. I mean, in this world of ICT, it makes you marry a laptop, a system, an iPad, your phone, and then you care less about what is going on around you. You know, become genuinely interested in people. The fourth, know your values and live by them. What do you stand for? There's this case study. A carpenter was asked to build a house. He wanted to retire from the carpentry work. So the boss told him, please, can you just build me one last house? He said, after this, you don't have to do any other work. I'll let you go. Say, no problem. And then he went to build the house and use substandard products. He did not use quality materials as usual, just to cut costs for himself and make gains and all that. So he used inferior materials for the project. At the end of the project, the owner of the house called him and said, thank you for all you have done for me. This house you have built was actually for you. So he used inferior qualities. After all he has worked in the company, the house he could get was a substandard building. Not because anybody failed him, but because he has no values. He has no personal standards. What are your values? Some values could be integrity, honesty, promptness, sincerity, um, high level of what do you call it? Uh, you know, respect, high level of believing in yourself and all that. Then the next one is improve your communication skills. Communication skills happen to be one of the greatest challenges we have in interpersonal skills. How you talk, how much you can listen, and then what you are not saying but you mean. So the communication comes in 3 dimensions. We have what we call verbal communication. We have what we call non-verbal communication. Because of our time, I'm going fast. Verbal communication when you talk, non-verbal is when you're not talking. Then we have what we call paraverbal communication. Paraverbal communication means the tone of what you're saying. And there is a tone in writing. Basically, writing is another style of communication, but there is a tone in writing. There was a lady, very junior person. I was working with the boss on project consulting for their company, and I would write, hello, please kindly help me tell your boss I'll be coming, and then do this and that, and that, and that, and that, and that. And she would just write noted or okay. So I had to call her one day. I said, hello, young lady, I'm not your age mate. You don't reply me, okay. You don't reply me, noted. No courtesy, no, good morning. Even if you don't want to use sir, you don't talk to me like, okay, after I've written a long epistle, noted. So some of us, we need to, many of us rather, you need to improve your communication skills. Let me tell you, you can get the job by your certificate. You cannot keep rising until you improve your character. You can get the job by your certificate or qualification. You cannot keep growing the leadership cadres until you improve your soft skills, essentially your character, attitude to people, to your boss, to your subordinate, 360-degree attitude appraisal. Learn how to resolve conflicts. Also, how do you manage conflict? Some of us, when you have disagreement with people, that's the end of this world. Person becomes an enemy. I just managed a case yesterday. The boss he was, having good relationship with, just because one small thing happened, he told the man, I'm not reporting to you. Very offensive language. So keep the golden rule in mind. Do unto others what you want them to do to you. What are strategies to develop social intelligence? Number one, pay close attention to what and who is around you. Who are the people around you? The people that are around you determines the people you begin to attract to want to be. Work on increasing your emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? Simply put, emotional intelligence is adding sense to how you feel. Emotional intelligence is adding sense to how you feel. What does that mean? I feel sad, I feel happy. How do you react? And you cannot react until you first master your own emotions. So emotional intelligence is not just how you react to another person's emotion. It starts with how you master or understand your own emotions to understand other people's emotions. Respect cultural differences. We said that. Practice active listening. I said that also. Appreciate important people in your life. Some of us are not appreciative. Some of us don't know how to appreciate people. You start statements with compliments, not with question or confrontations. Some of us in meetings, you don't even know how to present, your words. You don't know how to present your words. First, I like to appreciate everyone for coming around for this, even though you want to do them bush bash in that meeting. I want to appreciate everyone for coming around for this meeting. However, we have noted a few things we want to correct it. Not just you just come up, good morning. You don't even say good morning. All of you have failed this company. I must confess. I like to be blunt. I like to tell you the truth. Some people think there's this saying, let me say my mind, let me clear my mind. Sometimes your mind clearing is why you have problems. It is not everything that is in your mind you blast out. What is the wisdom of life? Is to know what to say now and what not to say. Is to know how to say and where not to talk. That's wisdom. It's not everything you say the way it comes to you, the way you're offended, you just pour it out. No, life is not like that. Okay, let's talk about emotional intelligence, and we want to look at a few lines about emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence refers to the ability to perceive, control, and evaluate emotions. Now, some researchers suggest that emotional intelligence can be learned, strengthened, while others claim it's inborn characteristic. The subset of social intelligence involves the ability to monitor one's own and other feelings and emotions, to discern among them, and to use this information to guide one's thinking and action. So it has the positive, it has the negative emotion. There are positive emotions, there are negative emotions. Now, let's paint a picture of you. Your name is David. There's this girl, this clean babe in your office. Her name is Sandra. Her name is Sandra. Sandra is in a relationship, but you've been hinted about what's going on in the relationship, and then you got to know that it's not working. Sandra came so moody one morning to the office, and she went to the restroom to cry. There's a corridor. I hope you are following the picture of what I'm painting. There's a small corridor where you can wash your hand. There is the female toilet and restroom. There's a male restroom. So there's a small corridor where people wash their hands and check the mirror. And then you met Sandra cleaning her eyes. Sandra, what happened? And when it comes to love things, ladies can easily break down and say, what's happening? She said, I'm okay. You said, no, you're not okay. This is not the Sandra I used to know. And you just said, Sandra, talk to me. And then she broke into tears. Now, breaking into tears, she couldn't hold herself. You felt so emotionally touched also. You see a young, pretty girl crying because of some guy who broke her heart after saying like 4 years relationship. She said, can you imagine that guy told me we need to we need to stop the whole relationship after 4 years of my life. You had the 4 years, you saw her crying. Sandra is a wonderful person in the office, and then she started crying. All you got to do was to just move close, and then you rest her head on your shoulder, and then you are patting her back. Sandra, all will be well. And just keep. And you're a married man, actually. In fact, they call you pastor in the office. Sorry, it will be well. Now, while that was going on, one of the aprocos in your office just walked in and saw Sandra's head on your chest, you were rubbing her back out of a sincere, way of comforting a lady. And then, I mean, Sandra just was crying. And then the more you are rubbing her back, the sweeter it is. And then the more the crying. And then the aproko, wait, let me give, who can give me one aproko name now? And let me not offend anybody. Let me use Chioma. Chioma used to have aproko in some offices. Not all the Chioma, oh, please, not all the Chioma, oh, pardon me. Okay, I hope there's no Chioma here. Okay, so Chioma just walked into the, are you following the story? Chioma just walked into the restroom out of this hot, terrible, and rush in to discharge what she's been packing about from her home. And then she saw Mr. David and Sandra. First thing that comes to her mind, oh, he has impregnated her. Now they are confessing to each other in the restroom. What happened? This is where I'm going. You see that case of Mr. Someone said the gist will circulate the entire office. God bless you, Richard. I love that. You can imagine. you know. So what happened to Mr. David was that he was not emotionally intelligent. He's a married man. That can ruin his marriage. I mean, cameras has picked the stuff. So what do you want to tell your wife? That there's nothing, I'm just trying to tell her sorry that she broke the other. And that closeness, she's resting on her chest on your chest. And you're just trying to be nice. Now, at that point, that careless handling of Mr. David's emotion can affect his reputation. So that's the positive side of emotion. We are used to anger management, envy, jealousy, and all that. This one, you are just trying to be nice. But the way you express your being nice can actually run you into trouble. Somebody said he go explain tire, no evidence. Exactly. Thank you, Shalom. Thank you, Shalom. Umar Buaka says, how about resting head on chest? He said what? He go explain tire, no evidence. Honestly, this is a terrible story. I don't want to even imagine it. So sometimes you just got to be careful. I mean, this has happened to me. I went to consult for a pharmaceutical company. And then the woman, I had to have a one-on-one session for her at the dining, and she said that Mr. Shegun, I need a counselor, a marriage counselor. Oh, I do all stuff. I do that somehow, it's part of what we do. She's a Muslim, and I had the second or third wife or something. And then on the dining, she broke into these serious tears. I was so touched. She's just saying she lives in a big duplex. I mean, the husband has two duplexes in the estate, one for one wife, one for the other wife. I said, my husband is not treating me well. It's not so fair to me. It's not this, it's not that. I'm not from a poor background. And she was crying. Imagine an IJ, pretty IJ on the seat. I wanted to like, oh, madam, it's okay. Then at the same time, I had to tell myself, if you go near her and the husband comes in, you're going to explain the kind of training you're doing. So I had to tell myself, just stay very far distance. If you meet her crying, it's because she doesn't understand the class. And it's, so let's be careful the way we manage our emotions. Okay. What are the skills of emotional intelligence? Skills of emotional intelligence. One of the skills of emotional intelligence is the ability to perceive emotions. So like that, Mr. David's story, you perceive that Sandra was just being emotional, but you have to reason with emotions. That, okay, what if they meet us? And toilet light is always so dark. I mean, the early morning of Monday morning is this, or a Friday evening, who do you want to explain with that something is not going on between you both? Or peradventure, even her makeup even stains your shirt. What do you want to tell your wife at home? I was just trying to pet Sandra. Oh, Sandra, and then all this makeup staining you. I don't understand. And probably you used to talk about Sandra at home. Sandra has become a Sandra Lily. So the ability to understand emotion, the ability to manage emotions. Now, perceiving emotions is the first step in understanding emotion, is to perceive them accurately. Many cases, this might involve understanding non-verbal signals such as body language and facial expressions. So there are things you mean you are not saying. There are things you are saying you don't mean. Signals, non-verbal presentations. There's a way I can look at a lady and I'm expressing love. There's a way your boss will look at you, sir. Should I send the memo to account? And he looks at you like, send it now. Nonsense. You just want to understand body language. It's very important that if you want to grow in your career path, you need to be sensitive to non-verbal signals. You need to be very sensitive. In fact, it's a skill of maturity. Managers must learn to know non-verbal signals. In fact, this course is all encompassing. Even with your wife, you're married, you're in a relationship. Women have a lot of sighs and a lot of non-verbal communication that if you don't understand, okay, honey, do you want us to do Chicken Republic? Do you want us to do Tantalizer? You just understand her. Because women talk less, but they act a lot. Reasoning with emotions. The next step involves reasoning with emotions to promote thinking and cognitive activity. Emotions help prioritize what we pay attention and react to. We respond emotionally to things that 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 garner our attention. So you reason, like the way uh Mr. that man in the toilet, what was happening at that time, he should not be carried away to express his emotions the way the other person is expressing emotion. The other side of emotional expression, the negative side, is like one of the most terrible part of emotional negative expression is anger. Oh my God. So now at this point, I like everyone very quickly, just very quickly, please permit me. I need to manage something here. Um, admin, if you can let me unmute everybody, I like everybody to be unmuted. Somebody tell me there's what we call anger flags. What do you do when you are angry? What's a sign of your intense anger? You are very angry. What do you do? Who can talk to me? I just need someone to talk to me very quickly before I go back to my slides. Someone very quickly. Yes, tell me your name. Selex.
Yes, sir. Thank you
Yeah,
very
what do
much.
you do when you are very angry?
Okay, I stammer a lot when I'm very
Good,
angry.
good. I like that. Okay, so when you start stammering, that is your anger flag. You should know that at that point you are extremely angry. Then manage what you do. Stop anything you're doing. Someone said I keep quiet because if I talk, I can't lead. It can lead to war. Someone said I keep silent. And so someone said you blast out when angry. Okay, so someone said I can bang the table or scatter everything on the table. Yeah, I like it coming like that. So we need to you need to understand yourself. That's what emotional intelligence is about. This is a practical part of this lesson. I keep quiet and walk away. Good. But at that point when you are angry, what happens to you? I like that word. He said I keep stammering, and it's a very common way of anger, peak of anger. Sometimes I stay away, I spill it all out with no pretense. Good. I like Christian. Thank you for that. You want to talk, so it's not. We need to manage our anger so that you don't say everything now, because one thing you say can destroy a lot of things in relationship. I flare up and shout at the top of my voice, Richard. Good. My facial expression goes. Some people cry. Most ladies cry. Some people, their eyes will be red. Some people will be shivering. That means they are at the peak of anger. They are ready to do anything. They can kill. And then you now realize, oh, I just killed someone. Oh, I walk away. And so before you walk, what is happening? That's what I'm saying. I didn't say reaction. I'm saying what happens to you when you are intensely angry. I shut up, though it will show in my expression. So that expression is what I want to know. So I approach the person and iron it out calmly. Good. You have managed it. Thank you so much. But what I want to hear is, what are your signs of anger? My chest is beating. Excellent. Adeshewa. I love that. My chest is beating fast. You see that anger is dangerous to health. That means your heart pumping rate will increase. I pant like a lion. Good. Shalom. I love that. I make it an eye for an eye. Excellent. You see, you talking to me like that? Imagine a policeman. You're telling him you have a wedding, and on your wedding day, he said park. Okay, we have a wedding. He said park. And they are calling you at the registry. You're already late. Someone said my head becomes hot. My heart rate elevates. Someone said I talk to shout. Good. My voice is shaky. Oh, I do lost my sins and make it an eye for an eye. I love that. Someone begins to cry. Thank you. I love that thing. Said my eyes turn red. Peter said, I feel crying because I want to express myself, but reminds myself of who I am. My heart beats increase. So you can see that anger has a general way of expression. I mean, a similar way. Somebody said my heart beats and now my voice and hands become shaky. Excellent. Gladys says, this is another sign. I have a boss like that. He will be vibrating, shaking. At that point, he's very angry. Now, I shout on top of my voice and my body shaking. Gilel, I love that. So now let me tell you something. Once you see these signs, they are called anger flags. Once you get to that point, you are shaking. Just calm down. Take a deep breath and calm down. Because if you take a decision at that point, you will definitely take a wrong decision. You will take a wrong decision. Now, there's a proverb in my place. The day a madman knows that he is mad, that is the first steps to his healing. The day you understand your anger flags, that is the first pathway to manage your anger. Thank you, everyone. Everyone, I love this. I love this. I love this class. I love you all. I love you all. So let's get back to class. Good. So let's move very fast now. Okay, managing your emotions. So when you see your anger flags, you got to manage your emotions. Take a pause. Also, let's talk about managerially in the workplace. In the workplace. Now, you just got the details of a very silly behavior of one of your subordinates or one of the junior staff under you. So annoying behavior. And I mean, the next thing is to fire this guy a query. In fact, you started saying a lot of all sorts of words. So annoying, so embarrassing. Now, I learned a principle in my managerial experience. You see, for every query you want to issue, take a pause. Okay? Okay? Like, for instance, you're just angry about an issue. You're just angry about an issue. Just, you've prepared the query, issue the query the second day, except for emergency cases. This one is obviously entailed in our code of conduct and is a misbehavior. But sometimes when you are angry and you want to deal with someone as a manager, always give out your query the second day. And the scene is still there and it's not wiped out. You know what we realized? An American, I learned that from reading one of the journals of an American president. He said he realized that after 6 months, he saw a lot of queries in his drawer. And then he came to realize that most of the queries he should have issued were not necessary. He was just being emotional about his decision. And he said he discovered that most of the cases, he got to listen more and realize more and saw the reason for no need to issue the query at that particular time. So he said he learned to become wiser. That's an element of maturity. So it's not every time you are angry, you just fire query, you just react. Most times we are reactional. You're just reacting. Okay? So there's this saying, don't always be reactive, be proactive as a manager, as a leader. Be proactive and not reactive. Okay, good. Habit of emotionally intelligent people. Yeah, emotionally intelligent people pay attention to what they are feeling. They understand how other people feel. They are able to regulate their emotions. They are motivated. They have great social skills. Because you can get along to managing yourself and managing the emotions of other people, you have social skills. You can blend into anyone. In fact, if you want to see a good salesperson, you must be emotionally intelligent. You meet different kind of people. I remember in those days in sales, I met a client who said, this job you are doing, they will just be deceiving you young people. Better go and look for another job. You see, I got home, I was demoralized. I was demoralized. For 2-3 days, everything he was saying was looking real. You know, so most times people sympathize with you, but they have no effort to help you out of your situation. Do you have a job to give me that you are condemning what I'm doing? So if you don't allow every statement to get to your heart, some things you filter them off. You're willing to able to discuss feelings with others. You're able to correct, identify, and underlining causes for their emotions. Now, okay, I'm trying to see something. Some different ways to practice emotional intelligence includes being able to accept criticism. This is another great problem most of us do have. How do you respond to criticism? Many of us, when they criticize you, your face will change, your eyes will turn to red, water will come to your eyes as if you want to cry. You feel too emotional about criticism. There are two types of criticism: constructive criticism and destructive criticism. Sometimes you are being criticized to be helped. Receive it with a good heart. Don't be too defensive at criticism. In fact, I did a training recently on customer service management. And then one of the things we discovered that if you want to have a good feedback, uh, if you want to have a good feedback from your customers, that you get better feedback that can help you improve from those customers that actually criticized you, that gave you a negative feedback. It helps you to look for the areas you want to improve. So being able to say no when you need to is a practical way of practicing emotional intelligence. So we are not saying you say yes to every criticism or somebody is talking you negatively down before your boss. If you're emotionally intelligent, you pick facts to uh, to place your points. You don't react. Now, there's this problem in the generation of today. They listen to reply. They don't listen to understand. People these days, most of the young people, they listen to reply you. They are not listening to understand you. So get that. When somebody is criticizing you, listen to understand. Don't listen to reply. Being able to solve problems in a way that work for everyone, being able to share your feelings with others, having empathy for other people. I mean, put yourself in other people's shoes, having great listening skills, know why you do things you do, not being judgmental of others. Now, impact of emotional intelligence: think before reacting. That was the principle to that guy needed to apply in that toilet. Think before you react. Think before you react. Think before you react. A friend of mine, his wife sent me a message recently. They needed some financial support for medical aid. This is that. I wanted to give out the money, but something told me, why will I send money to my friend's wife? Why can't my friend reach out to me? Now, my friend might not be aware of it. You know, some people can be funny, and he might be aware. But once I start sending money to a woman, what do I need? How can I defend myself? They are sending money to my wife without my consent. So we need to be very careful. You have to be thinking before you react. Okay. Greater self-awareness. Know yourself. Understand your emotions. Understand your weaknesses. Empathy for others. Low emotional intelligence refers to the ability to accurately perceive, inability to accurately perceive emotions in both yourself and others, and to use the information to guide your thinking and actions. They always have to be right. They are obvious to other people's feelings. People that have low emotional intelligence, they always want to be right. You see a lot of managers, a lot of supervisors, they don't want to be criticized. You know, they behave insensitively. They are not sensitive. So there is a marker in your office. I just want to hope there is no Amaka on this line. There's a marker in your office. Amaka is Amaka is your up and going person. I mean, she's so lively, a very good marketing representative or a good HR person. But on this Friday evening, She was just so dull. You greet her, she answers with her nose. She just indoors. She's not coming out for lunch and all that. A sensitive manager will walk. Amaka, what's going on? Can I see you, please? But you know that when you ask a woman what's going on, the next answer is nothing. And she said nothing. She said, no, nothing. Then you can go. Thank you. You don't do that. Nothing. No, tell me something. This is not the Amaka I used to know. If you are emotionally intelligent, you are sensitive. They blame others. Now, people that blame others for their problem, they are not emotionally sensitive. They are not emotionally intelligent, rather. People that have poor coping skills, they can't cope with people. I say, I can't work with this person. They don't know how to manage people. They don't know how to understand people. They don't know how to help people. Sometimes in leadership, you help people. Leadership is helping people become what they are supposed to be. I mean, what they are destined to be in life. You add value to people. Okay? That's leadership. That's leadership. Okay. So then they have emotional outbursts. Hey, people like poor emotional intelligence, they get angry, and when they're angry, they are careless of what they say. They don't give a damn. No, they struggle with relationship. People don't last within their sphere. I mean, they just lose friends, they lose friendship, they're careless, they don't handle relationship well. Now, over the years in consulting, I've learned to manage people. There are some people they are just a passage in your life. Don't give them a room. You need to identify people. There are some people you need to stay around them for mentorship, but don't stay too close to them because they might have some dirty habits that can corrupt you. You have to understand how to partition relationship in your mind. There are some people you don't discuss financial things with them, but you can discuss career things with them. There are some people you can discuss only spiritual things with them. Don't discuss business with them because they are not business minded. You have to be careful. They turn conversations towards themselves. Okay. Okay. Uh oh, sorry. There's a mistake here. Um, what happens? I'm trying to see this. Sorry. Okay, good. My control, the past, future, opinions of others, what happens around me, what other people think of me, the outcome of my effort, how to what? Take care of myself. Now, you have to know your boundaries with people and for yourself, understand your thoughts and actions. Those are the things in your control. The goals you set, what I give energy to. What do you give your energy to? Your resources, how I speak to myself, how I handle challenges. But you don't have control of what happens around you, what other people think of you, the outcome of your efforts, how to take care of, how others take care of themselves. The past, you can't control the past, you can't control the future, but you can plan the future. Planning is a mental picture of the unseen future. The difference between social intelligence and emotional intelligence. One, the independent but complements emotional intelligence. That's social intelligence. Social intelligence is independent, but it complements emotional intelligence. Don't forget, that's how to deal with people. Now, social intelligence uses emotional cues to navigate social situations. At least you understand emotions to manage social situations. Then social intelligence influence personal relationship and workplace dynamics. But and it enhances abilities through uh, self-awareness and practice. Now, for emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize and manage one's emotion, self-awareness and self-regulation are key components. For the other one, you use emotional cues to navigate social situations. Then it turns potential negative experiences into learning opportunities. What you see today, we will learn about how you handle your emotions. It uses mirror neurons to help understand others' emotions, while social intelligence enhances social abilities through self-awareness and practice. You have to work on yourself and keep working on yourself to attain these things. Negotiation skills. Let's get started. Welcome to Negotiation Skills course. Although people often think of boardrooms, suits, and million-dollar deals when they hear the word negotiation, the truth is that we negotiate in at all the time. Now, negotiation is a strategic discussion that resolves an issue in a way that both parties find acceptable. What does this mean? Negotiation has a strategic, when you hear the word strategic, it has to do with a step-by-step guide with certain principles or models to how as to which you can manage that particular thing. So there is a normal way of doing things. There's a strategic way of doing things. A strategic way of doing things has to do with planning elements, planning, forecasting, understanding where you are, understanding the approach and tactics you want to use to get to where you are going. So there are four questions in strategic planning which we need to understand. Number one is, where are we now? Number two is, where do we want to be? Number three is, how do we get there? Number four, how do we know when we get there? So in a negotiation, knowledge knowledge truly is power. The more you know about the other party's situation, the stronger your bargaining position is. So let the other party make the first offer. Maybe just be what you were planning to offer yourself so that you are not too forward. Okay. I'm trying to see the chat box. Okay. Good. So negotiation skills and tips. Number one, you have to listen if you will be a good negotiator. Let the other party land. When we say it, but paying attention to understand. You might be quiet, but your mind is not there. You are still not listening. So listening is just beyond being quiet. In fact, there is a training in communication and we talk about listening skills. Number two, problem solving skills. Ability to identify the problem and find a way to solve it. And when you want to identify problem, there's what we call the root cause analysis. You want to understand the root cause. Don't just solve the problem peripheral. For instance, you are before a doctor, you say you are having a headache. He will not just give you Panadol. He will say, go and do a test. He wants to be sure, is it typhoid? Is it malaria? Is it cancer? Is it high blood pressure? So that they won't be giving you the wrong drugs. Also in problem solving, it's important to have ability to identify the problem and find a way to solve it. Okay. Analytical skills are the basic for problem solving situations. You have to analyze. If this is this, then that's why this became to this, and this is what is likely to happen, and this is what we must do on time. You're analyzing. Communication skills, of course. Be professional and control your emotions. If you cannot control your emotions can ruin you. Persuasive skills. That's what we call persuasive selling skills. Ability to drive an individual against their wish to actually get the results you intended them to have. Persuasion. If you not feel persuade, you cannot marry in this country because all the girls, they know they give for anybody. Right or wrong? Let's start this up. Girls no dey gree for anybody. If you cannot persuade a babe, a lady, you cannot marry. Richard, yeah. Girls no dey gree. Go and check the market. Girls no dey gree for anybody. So you have to have persuasive selling skills. We dey gree. Oh, Elizabeth. Oh, I mean, I want to have other ladies support you before I will agree. You are the only lady saying we dey gree. Girls no dey gree. From our research so far, according to Nigerian Harvard, girls no dey gree. If you have a different opinion, can you chat me up? You must not no dey gree 100%. Prince John, Elizabeth, na lie. Elizabeth, depends on the scoping skills. Oh, scope is deceptive. Scope is deceptive. If I dey scope you now, I know where they go. Now money they make this green. Oh my God. Adewale, you shot the gun. Not all the time. They are strong head. Oh my God. Temitayo Adebisi Adekunle is just laughing. That's why they wanted to listen. This is what they wanted to listen. Girls no dey agree. But what? Let me see that. Oh, I hope I've not caused wahala here today. Girls no dey agree truly because outside no smile. Yes, so maybe Gen Z's ba. We no dey agree for nonsense. So Grace don't vex. Hey, something is happening in this house. Girls no dey agree. Nobody has been able to confront my statement. So the new national anthem on this chart is that girls no dey agree. Depending on the scope. Olagoke Olaya, Akin, gree for us and let's grow together. It's better, but economy no dey gree. So let's get back to the business. Thank you so much. Now, be patient and respect the other side. These are some skills for negotiation. Keep calm, use tact and diplomacy. There are tactics and diplomacy. You know where you are going, but you don't start with where you are going. You just want to watch reactions first before you present where you are going. Let's move. Characteristics of a good negotiator: you are assertive, you are persuasive, you are patient, you are decisive, you know where you are going, you know the direction. You are determined on the course. You know how to bring people there. You're open-minded. You're a careful listener. You're self-disciplined. You're creative. You're flexible. Highly ethical. You are patient. Prudent. Respect for others. And then you don't bow for pressure. Ability to handle pressure. You are confident. 7 elements of good negotiation. Number 1, interest. What do the parties want? 2, options. What are the likely areas of agreement? 3, alternatives. If we don't agree, what else can we do? If we don't agree, what else can we do? These things are very, very important. Okay. So you have to for the best alternative to a negotiated agreement. Best alternative to a negotiated agreement. That's partner. It's an acronym that stands for best alternative to a negotiated agreement. And then it's defined as the most that a negotiating party can take if negotiations fail and an agreement cannot be made. What's the best alternative to a negotiated agreement? Then legitimacy. How persuasive is each party? We are looking at communication. Are both parties willing to discuss and listen? Sometimes everybody, look at what happened in Nigeria. The people are on the street. The government use their guns. Both parties willing, but you look at NLC, they will come, have meeting, and then the whole story will change. Nigeria will healthy. Okay. So we want to look, so that the skills they use at these levels, negotiation skills. Are both parties ready to establish an operational relationship? Look at the minimum wage issue. So some of the things that played out. Okay, good. So commitment, what's the structure of commitment from both parties? What's the structure of commitment for both parties? Banter is best alternative to a negotiated agreement. How do the proposal match realistic alternative if you cannot come to a deal? So the more best alternative to agree to a negotiated agreement is compared with the proposals you receive, the more power you have. The less attractive your banter is compared to the deal on offer, the less power you have. That is, when what you are bringing to the table is not accepted, you don't have power to control much. How do you develop best alternative to a negotiated agreement? List what you will do if you fail to reach an agreement. So these are some elements of risk analysis, like if what we are going for does not play out, what else? What's the way out? What's the alternative? Okay, somebody said, if life is too hard, he said, try dates, Abi. So convert the most promising options to practical choices. So these options are good. How do you convert them to practical choices? Select the single best option, that is your banter. Compare your banter to all proposals. Best alternative to negotiated agreements. If an offer is worse than your banter, consider rejecting it. If an offer is contrary to the best alternative to the negotiated agreement, consider rejecting it. That means you are totally out of your scope. They will not improve their offer. Consider exercising your banter. That is your best alternative to a negotiated agreement. Now, what are the tips to help negotiating successfully? Tips to help negotiating successfully. Number one, don't be afraid to ask for what you want. Don't be quiet. Number two, keep quiet and listen. Don't talk too much. Number three, do your homework. For instance, you want to have a meeting with a personnel, with a personality, with a person. Find out about the person. What kind of person is he? What does he like to hear? What does he not like to hear? You have done your background check. You have done your homework. You want to have a presentation for a company, go and check their core values. Look at what they like investing in. Look at the people in their board to understand the kind of personality they have. Okay? Let somebody talk to you about their culture or their organizational climate. Don't be in a hurry. Aim high and expect the best outcome. Focus on the other side's pressure, not yours. Show the other person how their needs will be met. Don't give anything away without getting something in return. Don't take the issues or the other person's behavior personally. Know why you are there. Don't turn it into anger. Okay? If they are not interested in what you want to offer, they won't come in the first place. So what are the do's in negotiating? Listening and learning. Don't be noisy and be stupid. Controlling your emotions. Now, somebody can talk to you rudely. But you've got to be patient. You've got to control your emotions. Know why you are there. And that in identifying talents, identifying tenant strategies and tactics. You have to know how to keep your position. Know your rights. Understand what you stand to gain. Understand what are your own inputs. and the impact of things bending against your wish. Then maintaining the dialogue. Keep an engagement. Don't let the whole thing look dry and it's not worth their time. The do's, the don'ts in negotiating. Go in negotiation. Don't go into negotiation unprepared. Probably you don't have your brochure, your cards, details of, the discussions. You don't have even the name of the person you want to discuss with. Certain preparations has to be made. Even the venue, probably there's no AC or there's no ventilation. Everywhere is stuffy. They just came. Everywhere looks so disorganized. It speaks a lot about you. Strictly rely on creativity, improvisation, and intuition. So creativity is dynamic. Creativity makes you unique. Creativity gives you an edge. Sometimes the whole thing might just be presented in an unusual way to have an edge. Learn how to be creative. How you introduce, there's what we call ice breaking. How you introduce the matter to the table, is very, very important. You can have introductions that can be so charming, and you can have introductions that can be so disgusting. They know when to walk away. At some point, you learn to know, oh, at this point, we're sorry. This is not in line with our expectations, and we thank you for your time and might not be able to go further. Ignore legitimacy. Be careful to box yourself on some rights and some laws can complicate issues for you. Make a commitment before listening. Make a commitment before listening. Okay? Let it show that you are committed to this course. You are not just here, you're not joking. You mean what you say, and you're saying what you mean. Okay. Inspirational quotes. Inspirational quotes. According to John F. Kennedy, okay, just a second. Okay. Okay. Let me get back. Sorry. I need to just check where I am. Okay. According to John F. Kennedy, let us begin anew, remembering on both sides that civility is not a sign of weakness. Let us negotiate out of fear, but let us never fear to negotiate. That's a powerful one. Who can help me read the next one? Henry Kissinger. Anybody, can you unmute? Anyone? Can you please unmute your mic and read?
Each
Yeah.
success
Each
only buys
success.
an admission ticket to a more difficult problem.
Again?
Each success only buys an admission ticket to a more difficult problem.
Do you agree with that statement? Do you agree with it?
Yeah, to an extent.
Mm.
To an extent. I think it
I
depends
told you
on the
girls will be
perspective you're looking at it from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
show me your perspective.
Yeah, to every level of success you attain, you always want to get the next level to the next level. So once you see that you have attained one level, you want to stay there, you want to move, higher. And when you want to move higher, of course, there'll be more challenges to deal with. So yes, from that perspective, it's very correct. I agree.
So
settle one thing, you always want to settle the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So.
Thank you very much. I like Adesha was saying problem no dey finish. Oh, yes, I agree completely, Adewale. And then Richard agreed. Okay. Who can read the next one?
By
Richard.
Tom Peters, it says under promise and over deliver.
What does that mean?
It means that you should obviously make less commitment, make less promise on what you can do,
Yes.
and deliver much more than what you promised, or much more
Have you
than
ever
what
done?
you expected.
Does he apply to relating with somebody?
Yes, sir, it does.
Have you applied it to a lady before? Richard, I want to catch you today.
No, sir, this is Jonathan George speaking.
Okay, Jonathan George, okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. On the promise over deliver, I I really don't see myself, but I suppose I have applied it in a couple of situations thus far in some professional settings.
Okay. Do you know why I take management principles to our relationship life? Sometimes many of us feel these things only applies to office, but it starts from your personal life. Some people are good at work, they are terrible at home. They just want people to have a good impression of them. But you know, when you apply these principles to your personal life, it becomes, and what is in your lifestyle cannot be taken away from you easily. But what you are applying on principle can be changed with time. So when you under promise and you over deliver, it's so simple. You just told your spouse, I'm coming to pick you in the office. Just going to pick her. You brought a lovely lunch pack. I mean, you give like, wow, this is too expensive, this is too much. You know, when you do that, you have under promised, but you over deliver. That's just the simple meaning. I just want to bring it down home. In the office space, you don't over talk at the interview. Some people think, better talk everything. Yes, talk everything professionally and deliver beyond your talks. Don't go and talk to overpromise what you cannot deliver. That's what we are saying here. Some people, I do a lot of interviews, quite a lot of interviews. In fact, in this week, if I have not done interview, I will have met almost 30 to 40 people. In this week only. Some people will promise heaven and earth. They will look well at the interview. They will dress well. Once they get the job, they begin to drop standards. So under promise, but what? Over deliver. At this point, we come to the end of this course. I want to appreciate you so much. Thank you, everyone. And at this point, I'm open to questions. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Merci. I want you to unmute your mics and let's talk. Okay, thank you. From Elizabeth.
Thank you very
I can see a
much,
lot of
sir.
chat. Thank you, thank you. Adishawa, thank you. Selex, thank you. Faith, thank you. Faith says it's a wonderful class. Really appreciate you, sir. Thank you, Faith. Thank you, Elizabeth. Otegu Jairus is clapping. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Achukuma, Ojo, Christian, Abdulhamid, Abdulmajid. Thank you. Joshua, thank you. Oluwatoyin, Olakanla. I like the delivery style. I love the class. Oh, thank you so much. 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 Oh, what's the question? I've not seen the question. Can somebody unmute and read the question? I didn't see the question. No, the chats are going up.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. This is Richard. Thank you for this wonderful session. It's really I learned a lot from it.
Thank you so much.
So my question is this. It's about the negotiation skills. I would like to ask, as a human resource personnel, if
Okay.
I want to like negotiate salary with my employer,
Richard,
it's
I
a
know that's where
very
you are going.
it's a very catchy. So how do I do not to budge so that I will not be under or shortchanged? That's the first question. Secondly, I've been privy to in my former workplace, the Chinese. Negotiating with them is a little bit tacky. Let me use that word. They can use
Yeah.
how do you navigate being like not being under
Underpriced.
exactly, sir, exactly. That's the word. Thank you so much. Those are the two questions.
Okay, so now you see the reason why many of us are cheated at the interview is that we don't prepare for interview. I will advise anytime you are going for an interview, do a demo interview with a senior person. It boosts your confidence. It helps you to know what to say. It gets you prepared. And two, go and learn about now the role you are going for. Try to know something about that company in terms of their payment package. Two, try to know the industry standard for that role. So there are three salary pricing approach. You can underprice yourself, you can overprice yourself, and then a nominal salary range. Underpricing yourself in some organization is very terrible. A friend of mine went for an interview. They said, how much do you think in his mind? So don't bring the mindset of where you are presently working to the next place you want to go in a new role. It could affect you. Now, if I employ Edit 4 years ago, I might be paying her 2 years of that 4 years. Do you understand what I'm saying? I employ Edit for 100,000. The value of 100,000 3 years ago, 100,000 now is like 50,000. I cannot pay Edit 200,000. I mean, in 4 years in a private job. That's the truth. They maybe put 25,000, 30,000. They just put in small. Now, but the real value of Edit is in the industry pricing. So what do they pay somebody like Edit, who is 8 years graduate in accounting, chartered? That's what you should look at for the new role. Now, when you are negotiating salary, you have to be very careful. Don't be too forward. So I want somebody to interview me and let me answer. Is it possible? Edit, I can see your video. Can you interview me? Can you unmute your mic? Nobody? Or the Richard that asked me the question, can we do a demo? I just want to give you an hint.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, so Richard, you are the interviewer. I am the
Okay.
candidate. Okay, so let's
Okay,
roll
sir.
it out. Okay, yeah. So ask me, how much do you think you can pay me?
Okay.
So what role? Give me an example
Okay,
of a
how
role.
much do you let's say maybe a senior role in the human resources field, like that's your field, sir. You'll be in the best position to assume
Okay,
is a senior role in the HR. So
okay.
like how much will you like us to pay you? What's your salary scales like?
Okay, so thank you so much for this question. As an experienced HR expert, first I like to say that the value of what I'm bringing to add value to your organization is most paramount. And but however, asking me to talk about my salary expectation I would like to consider, I would like to know what the last person in this role was being paid, so that's to help me um, to have a better range of what I should be expecting. Continue, Richard. Don't mute your mic. Let's
Okay,
converse.
okay. Oh, that was impressive. All right, we would get back to you on that.
Okay.
That's an escape.
I professionally hit you. You know, so that's why we said tactics. So a friend of mine went for an interview some years back. So in his mind, 400,000. They just did a meeting like 400,000 for this role. This role in our place, like 1 point something million, this one doesn't know the job. Can you imagine? They just concluded he doesn't know the job. So you have to know, don't be in a haste to answer that question. But let's assume Richard, they now insisted that, okay, tell us, okay, you will give a range, don't give a figure. Well, I'm looking at a range between a 1.6 to minimum of 1.4 to start with, aside other benefits.
Wow.
But it's negotiable. Oh yeah, respond, Richard.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Can I interview you?
Yes, you can interview me,
Can
please.
Okay, so say the last thing you said again, please.
Yes, I'm looking at a minimum, a range rather, sorry, between a 1.4 to 1.8, but it could be negotiable.
Oh, I don't know about that because the last couple of people, the salary we paid them were about a range of 600 to 800,000. So I don't know if you're worth double to close to triple of what's there we
Okay, sir,
paid
may
them.
I also ask, what are the benefit packages for this role?
Well, the role comes with healthcare, comes with housing.
Okay.
It comes with also food benefits and so on.
Okay, do you have official car benefit? Do you have vacation benefits?
No, they're vacation benefits in relation to us paying you when while you're on vacation. Is that what you're
Yes.
asking?
Yes.
Yes, there are vacation benefits, but you'll be paid a little bit less than
So, sir, okay, yeah, I'm hearing.
Than what you would have been paid if you were actually working.
Okay, sir, I really appreciate what you're bringing forward, but like from my profile, like you can see, a 600 is what I make in less than a week from what I presently do. Coming to your organization is giving my best and my all and my attention. I don't like divided attention. Let me also buttress the fact that as a marketing professional, I also have I'll add value to your sales and your figures in terms of HR business partner. As a consultant, having worked in different spaces, I can also help this organization to move it forward and open other companies which will generate more income for us. Also looking at my profile, I will also, within my own network, able to project other customer base that will add value to us. Honestly, looking at all these benefits, I think this reputable company should consider something a bit more higher, going by this saying that what is cheap is not good and what is good is not cheap.
Well, I understand everything you said, and I don't for a second think that you're not going to be completely competent. But the other person that worked in your range in your fields did a lot of those things as well, and he actually increased our sales by up to 5 to 10%, just him and the people that work with him as well. And he made us a lot more money than we were actually paying him. So why exactly are you so that much difference from those other people?
Okay, well, Also, I like to establish further, in addition to what I said earlier, some other benefits aside what I said earlier on. I'm a business analyst, I'm an HR consultant, I'm a marketing expert, and I'm an operations person. I've worked at top management level in organizations. I've been board member of companies. And with your goals and your company values, which I read online, I see that this company is proactive and aiming to move to the next level. So I think let's aim high together, as I would like to work with your company. But I think considering this, the package I'm proposing is looking at the value of what the company stands to gain in the shortest future, and which in turn, as you look at it critically, I have my track record within my portfolio. I've been able to manage companies, and I have more than within the range of 60 to 70 organizations I've managed, and they have performed, and you can make calls to all of them. Now, considering all of this coming to work for one organization, we have to keep focus in one direction. We have to put all my effort in one direction. I think, sir, you will tend to get more benefits even than I anticipated, and it's going to add value to your organization. Also, looking at my international connections, we could also move to drive further business uh, partnership beyond the shores of the country. I believe I'm looking at this benefits your companies, this organization stands to gain from me. Let's look at it together. What if I'm underpaid and I do not find it convenient to survive, to move on? I mean, cope with my bills, with the current situation of the country, and I will like, and I get so discouraged at the end, and I'm not giving in my best. I think one of the motivations from your core values, which I read, is to do something within your power to ensure that we both work together and come to a compromise to move this great institution forward.
Well, Mr. Lawal, I hear what you're saying. I must admit, I'm actually very impressed. I can tell that you're a salesman. You're really good at selling yourself. I don't for a second dispute how competent you are. I see that has had a very eclectic career, but I see where you're coming from. And how about this?
Okay.
I understand that you want a range on 1.2 million to 1.8 million. How about this? We give you 1 million starting off, because that's the highest we've ever paid anyone in your field. We give you 1 million starting off. In the next following months, we see what you can do. You see what you bring to our company, and then we increase it as we go. Does that sound fair?
Okay, I quite appreciate what you have done. It shows me that this is the kind of organization I will be able to work. Can we please do a 1.2, and let's have it start that way? It could be a bit rough for me, but then I have to consider your and honor your ability to push it higher for me. I quite appreciate this, and I don't take it for granted. A 1.2, just a 200 will help things, work better for me. And we put it into an agreement within the period of probation, what it could be offered, or you could help me spread other things through some allowance, and we'll see how we can move from there.
How about a 1.0, but you have added vacation benefits? So while you're on vacation, you get paid the same amount as the
So,
amount you would have
so
gotten paid while you're working. And
okay, so I wouldn't like I wouldn't like to cheat the company. At what point am I allowed to go for vacation? Because maximally 6 months is the highest time you will be considering for my probation. So am I allowed to go for vacation within or before the next 6 months?
no, you're not allowed to go on vacation.
So it's just like dragging it up to a year. So I really appreciate your effort. Just a little push. I think we'll be able to get to somewhere. A 1.2 within your power. I mean, sir, if you meet me on the road, you could give me 200,000 naira for my weekend.
Well, I must admit you're a very tough stain to clean. But yeah, 1.2 million, I think I can get behind that. 1.2 million, I think that's fine, sir.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this time, and I'm very sure that you will get value for this. And I'm sure within the competitive environment, we're going to stand tall in the shortest time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Oh my God, I can see a lot of comments. So you see that. So I don't want to answer the question. I love that. I love the guy that engaged me. I mean, these are HR people that can kill me. That was so interesting. So you see, when you are coming to negotiate, for money, know your worth. Not in, all these things, I didn't cram them. I'm talking about myself. You cannot just finish school, 2023, 2024, and you're coming to tell me I should pay you 500,000. I can pay you, but what can you do? What have you done? So you understand? So what we are saying is that it is not the money, it is the value. And that's why you need to sort analyze yourself, know your strength, your weakness, your abilities, know what you can do, and know what you are very good at, and stay on your strength. You see, I was able to stay on my strength and understand the dynamics of negotiation. You see that at some time I had to massage his ego. So you'll be able to dash me 200,000 naira. And I made him feel like a big man to make him run into trouble. Yes, Aminu is raising his hand. Yes, Aminu, you can speak.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Okay. So somebody, thank you for that question. I hope I've answered Richard's question.
Yeah, Mr. Lawal, you have another question.
Perfectly, sir.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Lawal, you have
Yes.
a question.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's going to be the last question for this station. Yeah. Okay, so from Silveria, she says, how do you negotiate for what you want when you are out of job? Employers take advantage of that and price one down. And there is this saying that you don't have a negotiating power when out of job.
No, I strongly disagree with that. I can be out of job, don't be out of value. Do you get that? You can be out of job, don't be out of value. You're out of job. There are a lot of free courses online you can go and take to enhance your skills. You can be out, this employment thing, you can be underemployed. You are even working, but they are not paying. Let me tell you my experience. When I was working sometime, I was collecting, I had official car, a 2010 car, brand new car. I had an apartment to myself in the city center, but I was just being paid 100,000. Yeah, I had other benefits, other allowances and all that. I got another job that took me to Lagos, and this new package was 350,000 naira. Then, when I started this job, quite interesting. From 100,000 to 350. But don't forget, don't look at the figures. Consider the benefits. Benefits pays more than figure. For instance, let me tell you, I'm in Abuja. If you're in Abuja and you have a good job that pays your HMO, it's more than the cash given to you, because if you have a family and you are going to the hospital here, you can go to the hospital and spend almost 100,000 naira on one child. So you have to look at the benefit package. And that was what I was pushing to that man. And you see that I was smart, which shows that I understand HR ethics. You are telling me that you give me vacation package when my 6 months, when you cannot confirm me until after 6 months. That means I can't get any of those packages until after 6 months. That pays him, he doesn't pay me. So you have to understand, many of us, we get employment letter, we don't read the content, we don't understand. So when I got a 350K job in Lagos, I was having access to official car somehow, yeah. So this is the interesting part I want to say. I was to do an interview I was head of strategy and operations. I was to do an interview for a lady to come in as our HR head. It was a group of companies. It was a merger and acquisition project. Now, the lady came in for the interview, but I was the one working as a consultant to get new staff, do the interview and all these things. Okay. The lady came in for the interview and said, she's presently being paid 800,000 naira. But she said she's like a friend to my boss, kind of, but we just interviewed her, that she would not advise we start with that kind of heavy salary because we're just trying to put structures in place. But you know what she said? But Shegun can do this job now. Now look at it. 350 then, I was happy. Somebody earning 800. She said the least she can take from us is 1.2 million, but Shegun can do this job. That means my worth is what she's collecting, which is 800. So know your worth. Be able to defend your worth. Understand your worth. And let me tell you, if you are earning 800,000 naira a month, there's a way you will talk. There's a confidence you wear. If you are earning 100,000, you're saying, yeah, my worth now is 800,000. You won't talk like an 800,000 person. Your presence, your aura, the way you dress to the interview, it doesn't look like somebody who has ever seen 250,000 naira monthly before. Yes, you want to collect 800,000. What about your experience? What about the So when you are out of job, don't be out of skill. You've not been working, go do data analytics courses, go do this. Yeah, you don't have money to pay. There are few courses online. So somebody is asking you, but you've not been working for 2 years now. What have you been doing? What they want to know is, what have you been doing? And you let them know, though I have not been working for the past 2 years, I've also learned to groom myself in these certain areas. I've been doing a business and I started with 50,000 naira. Today, I've been able to grow it to so amount, which further proves my competence and capability. And the person say, okay, why not continue your business? And so, well, as a passionate career person, you must know have the right terminologies for answers. As a passionate career person, and then seeing this company's advert and going through the company is the kind of company I would like to work with. You be massaging their ego up and down. They will know what they are doing. So please, you might be out of job, go for courses. I mean, I met a lady yesterday in an interview. For 10 years ago, she graduated. No other certification, no other training. And you want me to hire you? You will have depreciated. I mean, there are courses you have to do. It's not only masters. It's not only MBA. It's not only, I mean, there are professional bodies you need to join, do certifications, I mean, register for programs, go for trainings, go for workshops. There are free programs here and there. They'll give you certificates online, this. Build your skills. And when you are talking, when you have those things, it will be obvious. But when you don't have anything, you're applying for 14 days customer service. And the last time you worked was 4 years ago. You now got married, started producing babies. And then you want me to give you 350,000 naira or 400,000 naira. Somebody that doesn't even know the difference between a memo and a formal letter. Do you understand? And also let me spot it that some things you think they don't sell you are actually selling you. What other social contributions are you engaged in? You understand? What other social contributions are you engaged? For instance, if you look at my profile, I cut across because of consulting. Some of us, maybe association of so you are the secretary. It also has something to your competence and your leadership capabilities. But many of us, you don't join anything. All you do is go to church and come home. That's not a balanced social life. You need to be part of organizations. I'm the executive secretary of so, I am the this, I am the that. I got the award of this, Rotary Club, all these organizations, you can be part of them to enhance your skill. So it's not only that I have masters, I have BAc, that's not only what we are talking about. You have to groom, and that's why we said we do this training on social competence. You understand? Social competence. You need to belong to good organizations, good bodies, where your profile can be enhanced. Thank you very much.
Wow, 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 wow. Like, please, can we give a round of applause? Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Mr. Lawal. I really enjoyed today's class, and I believe everyone on the call have been enjoying the class too. Thank you so much. Please, let's keep the clap coming. Thank you so much, sir. Please, you can help us with your LinkedIn handle. Someone asked for it so
I
that we
think
can
I'm
follow you
back.
up. Yes. Okay, so while he's about to do that, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Shemi. Thank you, Richard. Yes, that was really a beautiful interview session. I really enjoyed that. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, so without further waste of time, we'll be telling our first trainer a very big thank you and goodbye for now. We would love to have you again some other time. Okay. So we will be welcoming our second trainer for this second session. Please give me a moment to share my screen. All right. All right, so taking us on this on the second session is none other than Precious Ayebayo. I hope I got that correctly. She will be taking us on ISO 22301, talking about business continuity management system. Precious is an experienced management system consultant and cybersecurity analyst. She has implemented and audited business continuity management systems across a number of organizations in Nigeria and other countries. She has also trained over 30 participants on business continuity ISO 22301. Please, can we welcome our next trainer in the person of Precious? Precious, please, you can take it up from here.
All right, thank you so much, Edith. Good morning, everybody. I would like you guys to confirm that you can hear me. Hello, can you hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Loud and clear, loud and
All
clear.
right, all right. It's so great to be here this morning. I was also enjoying Mr. Shegun's session. I didn't even want it to end. I haven't forgotten
Yes.
I was the I haven't forgotten I was the next person. I was almost saying, can I give him my slot so that because my jota was full already. It was a very, very, very interesting session. But I guess every good thing has come to an end. We have to start this one. Business continuity, ISO 22301. So I can see from the schedule you've done 9001, QMS 31,000, 20,000, 45,001, 27,000, 14,000. See, I was so happy when I saw all of these things that you've covered. I was so happy they put it before business continuity, because if you see all the standards, they have bits and pieces of business continuity. That's ISO 22301 embedded in them. They are all components of, they're all, so I want you to remind yourself of all the things they've taught you guys across these various standards, because you'll be needing that knowledge you've gained to be a better business continuity expert. So let me just quickly share my screen to share the material we'll be using today. Just confirm when you can see my screen. All right, so we have two materials. When we're done with this one, we'll go to the next one. So can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right, so let's dive right into what we have for today. ISO 22301 Business Continuity Management System. That's what we have. Is this a part one? Yeah, this is part one. So I'm sure by now we're familiar with the what will I call it now? The format of the standard, right? We are already aware we have 10 clauses, 1, 2, and 3, and 3 clause 1, clause 2, clause 3. They are not editable clauses of the standard. It doesn't mean they are not important. They're also important, but when it comes to auditable or implementable aspects of the standard, that's when we start from clause 4, clause 5, clause 6, clause 7, clause 8, clause 9. So you've done 27,000. If you see, it follows the same pattern. It's just when you get to clause 8 that there'll be major differences across these standards, like 27,001, 2230, and 20,000. Though other standards like the 31,000 have a different format. But when it comes to like 27,001, 20,000, that's SMS, service management system, they all follow the same pattern. So it's the same thing. 4.1, context of the organization. So I won't be dwelling too much on clause 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then clause 9 and 10, because I believe we've done it over and over again across those other standards. So I'll just brush through them fast so we can dwell in the actual most important aspect of the standard where actual action is taking place. So clause 4.0, context of the organization, clause 5, leadership. I'm sure by now we but please just, you can even leave it in the chat box if you don't want to unmute your mic. What's clause 5 of the standard based on what we've learned so far? Is there anybody? You can drop it in the chat box if you don't want to unmute your mic so we can hear your beautiful voice. So who knows what clause 5 of the standard? Just the name, not even a summary of what it entails, just the name, clause 5. Somebody said leadership. Thank you very much, Oyin. Can somebody tell us what clause 9 is? Clause 9. Thank you, Oyin. You should not do me like this now. I know now. You people know this thing. Why you people just, are you being humble? Just help us. Clause 9. You can check your note though. I'm sure you have jottings. You can check. Please, what's clause 9? Performance management. Oh, yeah, again. Yeah, so she kind of gave it a new name, but still it's the same. Performance evaluation, performance management. Who cares? It's the same thing, right? All right, so let's just dive back into our material. So I'll quickly run us through what each standard says and a brief summary of each of those standards. So context of the organization, just like any project you want to start, even I like to use this example, a project such as building a house. First of all, you need to understand the type of house you want to build, the location of the land. So are there government restrictions in that area? There are some areas you can't build duplexes. There are some areas where you have to build bungalows. Maybe it's an estate land. So first of all, you need to understand the context surrounding everything you want to do in that project. So context of the organization simply means you sit down, you analyze, okay, this organization that we're about to implement this ISO 22301 standard, what exactly are they? Who are they? What do they do? How do they do it? Where are they located? Who are their target audience? Who are their customers? Who are their partners? Who are their interested parties? How are they regulated? What are their legal and regulatory requirements? So basically, that's what you want to do in clause 4. Clause 4 is all about information gathering, but there's some level of analysis because, okay, you need to work with the legal department to analyze, okay, what are the legal requirements that are applicable to our organization. So it's majorly asking questions and documenting what you found out. So usually the standard mandates you to have it documented somewhere. So when you want to audit, when the auditor comes for clause 4.0, when you want to demonstrate compliance to clause 4.0, it's not enough that you've identified all of these things. It's also equally important that you've documented it somewhere that it can prevent as evidence to the auditor. Then you move to clause 5.0, where leadership must show that they are committed to the success of the business continuity management system. There are many ways they can show commitment: by participating in review meetings, releasing necessary resources, finances, people. Like, for example, went to one organization and we're finding it very difficult to move ahead with this implementation because most employees, you go to them, you say, okay, can you give us 1 hour of your time today, or can you give us 2 hours of your time? Let's just have an interaction. We need to find out certain information from you related to your job description. And they'll tell you, I'm sorry, this is not part of my KPI. I wasn't informed. So when you go to organizations and you see stuff like that, you already know that there are lapses in terms of leadership commitment to the success of the business continuity management system. It's advisable that leadership communicates to everybody that will be participating in the implementation of business continuity management system and mandate them to give their time and any other thing that will be required to ensure that the business continuity management system is successfully implemented. Also, they can show commitment by ensuring they develop a policy. So it's not just developing the policy, you want to ensure you communicate it to both internal and external parties, and you want to make sure you assign roles and responsibilities. It's not like everybody will just come and say, me, I'm the business continuity manager. Another person say, I'm the business continuity auditor. No, the management, top management, is one of their duties according to the standard. They must be in charge of saying, okay, this is our business continuity manager. This is why we chose him. He's competent in these areas. He has so and so number of years of experience, and we know he'll be able to handle this. Okay, this person will be the auditor because she works with the internal audit department. All of those things fall under the responsibilities of the top management when it comes to the implementation of the business continuity management system. So we've discussed clause 4, where we have to understand the context of
Excuse me, Precious.
all right.
We can't see your screen.
Oh, sorry about that. Oh my god, sorry. Nobody said anything. Thank you for bringing it to my notice. I'm so sorry about that. All right, so can we see my screen now? Can we see my screen now?
Yes, we can
Yes,
see
we
your
can.
screen.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see. People are already talking in the comment section. I'm so sorry. All right, thank you. So yeah, let's go back. We talked about clause 4, understanding the context of the organization. Then we talked about clause 5, leadership, how leadership can show commitment, that they are really interested. Many times in most organizations, leadership are not committed. They just want to do what they need to do, conjure plenty evidence, fake evidence, just to ensure that they get the required certification and get CBN off their back. But if you go to organizations like that, you would notice something. They are not getting the full benefits of implementing a business continuity management system. And they think they are doing CBN. They don't know that at the end of the day, you are doing yourself. You wasted money for implementation. You don't monitor it. You don't try to improve on it. You just left it anyhow, and you think somebody is losing anything. Somebody is losing anything, something, but it's not us, it's you as the organization. So we go from clause 5, go to clause 6, planning. So after you've understood the organization, leadership are on board, now you start planning. What are the risks that will prevent us from achieving what are our objectives? And like we all know, when it comes to setting objectives, your objectives must be smart, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. So you want to make sure you set smart objectives and ensure they align with your business strategic objectives. So usually some people just go online, copy another organization's objective. They say, let's write objective now. Shebi, we'll write objective. But at the end of the day, you'd realize that it's not even aligned with their strategic direction or their strategic objectives as an organization. Do you intend to expand your company across, maybe internationally, within a certain number of years? You should make sure that it reflects in your business continuity objective. Are you only focusing on one location? All of those things should serve as a basis for determining your business continuity objectives. After you've identified the objective, you want to ensure you also identify the risks that will prevent you from achieving those objectives. So if you are low on manpower, obviously if the implementation was supposed to take 2 months, it might take 4 months because you don't have the sufficient manpower that is required to handle various aspects of the business continuity management system. You see, automatically that's a risk. If you don't have financial power, automatically, okay, you are mandated to send people for training. How will you afford that? Automatically, it's going to affect the implementation, because if people don't go on maybe periodic training, automatically that's a non-conformity. You can't even get your certificate without that put in place already. So you want to make sure all the resources needed, you identify all the various risks. Okay, what can prevent us? Then you also identify your opportunities. Okay, what can we take advantage of as a result of implementing this business continuity management system? Then also you want to make sure you plan changes. Changes can be either planned or unplanned changes. Just imagine there are planned changes, but then you didn't even plan for the planned changes. Talk more of the unplanned ones. There are some changes that can even come to light, and at the end of the day, just scatter everything, scatter the whole business continuity management system. That's why it's very important to take into consideration the various changes that might come up during the course of implementation or during the course of the existing business continuity management system. Then go to clause 7, support. So most of these resources, competence, awareness, communication. So clause 7 and clause 5 are closely related because it relies on the management commitment. Because if the management is not committed, they will not release resources. If the management is not committed, they won't send people on trainings to ensure they are competent enough, or they won't assign people with roles and responsibilities that are competent enough. Awareness as well, it will require some level of funding. Management did not release fund, no awareness. Communication, sometimes you can send around communication. It's always a great practice if top management can also co-sign some of those communications so people can take it seriously. Then documented information, there are some mandatory documents that you must have within your business continuity management system. You cannot be telling the auditor or the certification body that yes, we have it now. Where is evidence? Show evidence. You get. So then we go to clause 8, where I said, okay, that's the heart of the business continuity management system. That's where major changes are carried out within the business continuity management system. So it differs across those other standards that you've learned. But under clause 8 for the business continuity management system, it has 6 subclauses, where 8.1 is your operational planning and control, 8.2 your BIA and risk assessment, 8.3 your strategies and solution, 8.4 your plans and procedures, 8.5 exercises and testing, 8.6 evaluation of business continuity capabilities. We'll still discuss more on that when we go further into the training. Then go to your clause 9. Okay, all these things you've done in clause 8, we need to evaluate. Okay, are they working the way they're supposed to work? You're supposed to identify some metrics that you'll be using to measure if they are actually working in line. At the end of the day, if you set objectives but there are no metrics to measure them, I can come and say, yes, we're able to achieve it. Another person can come and say, no, we did not achieve it. But when there's a metric, there'll be no confusion. We'll measure it. Okay, objective versus this metrics. Did we meet our target? Yes. Did we meet our target? No. So it clears the space of ambiguity. There's no ambiguity. Everybody knows if we don't meet our target, we did not achieve the objective. If we meet our target or even exceeded it, we have met the objective. Then you also do your internal audit, where you want to ensure your auditors are independent of the activities during implementation, so they are not biased. And you want to make sure they are properly trained on how to audit the business continuity management system. Then you also want to talk about your management review, where we talked about, I said it earlier, it is very important. One of the requirements is members of the top management must be at these meetings. It's called a management review meeting. So usually they'll just want to leave it and be like, please, people should go with this, your ISO thing, you're disturbing me. But at the end of the day, it's a requirement. They have to be present. We can even say, okay, this management review meeting does not hold water because somebody from top management was not present. Because at the end of the day, we are trying to do better things. We need decision makers on the spot trying to make changes and contributing from their wealth of experience to the success of the business continuity management system. Then you go to clause 10, which is after your audit, internal or external, exceptions that were raised, you need to ensure that you document them, document your correction that you put in place and your corrective action. Correction to address the problem at that spot, and then corrective action to address the root cause analysis. Then 10.2 continual improvement. the business continuity management system is not supposed to be static. It's supposed to be dynamic, constantly changing, adopting new best practices, moving with the way the organization is moving with the way the industry is moving. So it needs to be continually improved. Sometimes some people say, oh, we don't have any opportunity for improvement. No, there's always opportunity for improvement. There's no perfect system that will say, okay, wow, this is perfect. No, even if it was the best of the best that worked on that implementation, there's always opportunities for improvement. So we've just done a sharp overview of the standard. I hope we understand. Do we have any questions before we move further? Okay, so I'll take that as no questions. Let's go. Let's move on. So first of all, what is business continuity? I like to believe that from the word business continuity is very, very, very self-explanatory. We just want to ensure that no matter what happens, business continues. It might not continue at an optimal level, but it shall continue at an acceptable level. So it encompasses what you need to do and put in place to ensure that when you encounter disruptions, you can recover operations to an acceptable level within a short period of time. So keyword, recover operations to an acceptable level and within a short period of time. So it will not be, it's good to recover to a good level, but if you don't do it within a short period of time, you can almost lost a lot of things within that period, from your customers to your money. The longer you take, the more money you lost and all of those things, and that's not good for any business. So why should you even consider business continuity? So I want to believe the people here, some of your aims as regards your participation in this training is either you want to become a business continuity expert, or you want to implement a business continuity expert a business continuity management system in your organization, or you want to audit a business continuity management system, or generally you just want to gain more knowledge about business continuity. No knowledge is wasted across every sphere of life. Business continuity, knowledge gained from business continuity will always come in handy. So why are we talking about business continuity? Why is it an important topic? I'm sure we all know the major goal of any organization should be making profit, generating revenue, and customer satisfaction. Those two major goals all fall. Business continuity plays a major role in achieving those goals. So we've also seen the world is not is becoming a global village, and there are advantages and disadvantages. The more reliance on technology, there are other disadvantages such as increased cyber threats and attacks. So every day they are coming up with new ways to exploit systems. So you always have to be on your feet to ensure that you match the speed of these cyber criminals. Then with the since coronavirus happened, there has been a whole revolution around how we do our work now. People work remotely. All of those things can expose the organization to certain information security risks, which should also be taken into consideration when it comes to business continuity. Because if they expose some of those risks that come to light as a result of remote working, it can cripple the organization as a whole. Then we also have different natural disasters. If you live in Lagos, I'm sure you should own a boat or a canoe, because as we all know, we are in rainy season, and if you want to be able to move, maybe if you stay, as a big man, the more your money, the more your problems. Now you stay in Lekki, you say you don't like the mainland is smelling, but now you're in Lekki and you need to get yourself a boat to ensure that you can continue your life. This time it's not business continuity, now it's life continuity. So a robust business continuity management system is very important for any organization that values profit, values customer satisfaction, and values employee safety. It's not limited to these three things, but these three major things. Any organization that cares about any of these things should take business continuity very serious. So it helps you to identify disruptions before they happen and prepare against them. So when they happen, you already have a robust system that can contain the impact of these incidents and ensure that the impact on the organization is not too extreme. So for example, if your company takes 90 days to contain a data breach, any organization that takes 90 days to contain a data breach, I don't think they are serious. They should just sell the company, because why is it taking 90 days? But you see the problem. Maybe they didn't take business continuity into consideration. They just thought that, okay, the world is becoming a global village. There's money in tech. Let's open an organization and make money as well. It will take you 5 days or even less, 1 day, 2 days. You remember the recent incident at CrowdStrike? How many days did it take them to rectify it? Just imagine it took them 90 days. The world will probably, not the world, those people, Europe, US, all of them, though, they know what their eye will see. So it also ensures that you save cost. If some people used to be like, we don't want to spend money on business continuity, because let's be honest, business continuity is quite expensive, because you want to talk about installing something like a warm site or a cold site, right? It will cost you money. Just imagine you have and you have servers, you have all of those things, and you need to recreate them in another location without any problem, or you have not had problem yet, but you need to have them there readily available for you to move to if a disruption will occur. And then a disruption has not even occurred in 5 years. You'll be looking at it like, oh my God, this is a waste of money, because now we have to maintain those equipment, we have to ensure they are properly protected, and we're still spending money on the one we're using currently. So people will just be like, okay, let's do alaroro. It's better let's put this money in forex. We know how much we'll make in 5 years. See, the last 5 years we have just wasted our money. We have not even had any disruption. Then they'll remove it and say we don't have budget for business continuity in this organization. Please just carry yourself away from here. Then 2 months after, be 2 weeks after, somebody with press control spoil within their IT department, and now they are showing job advertisement everywhere. You be seeing their name everywhere. We are looking for qualified, competent IT. Salary is very attractive. You see, because they were trying to save costs, now it's even costing them more than it would have cost them to just maintain a cold site or maintain a warm site. All right, so it is very important in terms of, if you want to save cost, it's better you take business continuity serious. It might look like you're spending more, but at the end of the day, you're saving more. So why do we need BCMS? I'm sure based on discussions we've been having since, we've been able to pinpoint some reasons why BCMS, business continuity management system, is very important. It minimizes the effect of disruptions. Like I said, it's not like there might not be impact, but because of the systems you've put in place to contain the incident, it will reduce the impact to a very, very, very low level. It's to ensure that people are safe. At the end of the day, every organization is just as important as its employees. Anything that puts the lives of your employees at risk, it's not worth it. So it's very important that whatever money you need to spend to ensure that your employees are safe, please, you have to do it to ensure continuous business operations. If there's no continuous business operation, there's no revenue, there's no profit. So you want to ensure that no matter what, even if it's coronavirus, even if it's fire incident, we should be still able to satisfy or respond to the request of our customers at the end of the day, so we can make some money to minimize financial impact. Financial impact can cut across maybe fines or legal fees, all of those things. With business continuity in place, people will not be carrying it to court up and down, and you have to start settling out of court with how many people. How much do you even have? CEO self does not have salary. He's just managing himself. He has not even paid his employees 2 3 months, and now he has to go to court and be solving case. So it minimizes financial impact. It protects your brand image. So let's look at Nigeria, for instance. If not that, recently all the telecommunication companies, I don't even know which one is the better evil among them now. They've just been, since the protest, they've been behaving some type of way. But prior to that, among, let's say, MTN, Airtel, Glow, Etisalat, do we have any other one? There's one that everybody used to move towards, because even if you go to a desert, you will still see their flyer there. Or even if you go to your village after 10 years, you will still see that they have one operator somewhere that is catering to the needs of people, and so which in return helps them have high availability. So most times people just tilt towards I will not call the network before the other people will say I'm spoiling their business. But they too they need to take business continuity into consideration more, because obviously it's not funny to use some of those networks, and most times we work from home these days and we need very very good network. So it protects your brand image, it keeps you top of mind. So before somebody say, oh, I need to get a new sim card for browsing, which one would you suggest? Automatically they will suggest the one with higher availability now. And higher availability is one of the outcomes of a properly implemented business continuity management system. Compliance with legal and regulatory requirements, organizational resilience, and all of those things. So those ones that don't take business continuity into consideration, what will they face? Loss of customers, reputational damage. Every Sunday and Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, they are dragging them on Twitter because they don't take business continuity into consideration. Poor service, poor customer service, poor response time. People's money are even going, so reputational damage. Automatically, before I invest in any organization, I'll search about what people are saying about them. If I see complain, will I be wise to still invest in that organization? Automatically, when your reputation is damaged, it will affect a lot of things. Monetary loss, potential going out of business. They say most businesses have a lifespan of 5 years. Anybody that can even survive 5 years, at least there's hope for that business. But most businesses go out of business within 5 years. So obviously, if you don't take business continuity, even the ones that took business continuity into consideration but they did not do it well, they did not survive 5 years. You that did not even do it at all, okay, maybe it will be glory to God if you probably even get to 3 years. So benefits of adoption of the BCMS: identifies impact of disruption before they occur, maintains continuity. So because we know that this is a possibility, this is a disruption that can possibly occur to our organization and can disrupt our normal activities, we've already prepared ahead. It's just like when a thief comes to your house, but let's say you're outside the country, because in Nigeria, we are not permitted to have gun. Please, if you have gun here, you're not permitted though. But let's say you're outside the country now and you have a gun that you acquired legally, and an intruder comes into your house. So now, just like how I mentioned earlier, life continuity, the person is coming to probably terminate your life, and you too, you take your life continuity very serious, but you already have gone, so the thief can come. Obviously, one person will go and it's not you, it's probably the thief. And maybe if they have good healthcare response there, maybe if ambulance come on time, the person might be able to survive it, but at least you're alive. I don't say people should go and kill anybody. I just say you should have survival instinct. So please, please. Oh, somebody said somebody can have a registered gun in Nigeria. I'm not aware. Oh, Peter, please, please find out very well. Before you say it's in business continuity management training, they told you to take your life continuity seriously and go and buy a gun. Just be careful. So just like an organization, just imagine you're the organization now. You prepare ahead for disruption and you ensure that you're properly contained. Or you might not even have a gun, you might just be very much trained, maybe a wrestler or anything. And before the person even do anything, you have tied the person's hand at his back. He did not die, but it cannot affect you too much. So it also ensures that you continue operations and service delivery, ensures compliance with legal and regulatory needs, ability to manage uninsurable risks. So there are some risks you can share with insurance partners, but there are some that you just have to accept. It comes with the job. You need to know how you put things in place to ensure that, okay, since this is a possibility, if it happens, this and this and this is what we're going to do. Encourages cross-team working, succession planning, shadow working, all of those things. They're all parts of business continuity. You also demonstrate a credible response through the process of exercises, because the standard mandates you to exercise whatever business continuity plan you've put in place, whatever business continuity solution you've put in place. So disruption did not occur. You must test them to see loopholes. Where can we do better? Okay, let's say we already have fire extinguisher. We've already trained everybody on how to respond when there's a fire incident, and there's not been fire. You are mandated by the standard to simulate a fire scenario whereby you want to observe how do people respond during a fire incident. So it's usually advisable. They don't even know what's happening. Maybe smoke is coming out somewhere. You want to see if people are still sitting down eating granite or running to the muster point, or some people are even running to the lift during a fire incident. Can you imagine? Maybe lift with down hook, and they were not even supposed to even be affected, but they didn't know. They ran to the lift. So you get, so all of these things are very there are benefits of adoption of a, or I would say adoption, proper adoption of the business continuity management system. So the business continuity management system ISO 22301 is one of the frameworks for implementing business continuity. So it's not the only one. If you don't like the way they approach the business continuity, you can do your research and use other frameworks. But for the purpose of this training and for the purpose of best practice, it's advisable you stick to ISO 22301 because it is developed by International Organization for Standardization. Periodically, they review it, adopt best practices across the world. It's an international standard. It's not only detailed towards Europe or towards the US, it covers every environment. So that's why ISO 22301 is one of the best standards for implementation of business continuity. So this international organization for standardization is not only ISO 22301 they have. You see that 27,001 you did earlier is still them. 30,000 is still them. 45,001 is still them. So all of these things are, this is just one of their standards. They have over 22,000 standards. And all of these things, when you want to apply for jobs, international jobs within the country, they all they all require some of these certifications. So even if you don't currently work within business continuity and you maybe relocate outside the country and you want to apply for a certain job, maybe disaster management or something, and you have ISO 22301 training or certification, it's going to come in handy. So you can also still go through all the ISO 22301 standards they have in place. Anyone that piques your interest, you can do your research online, do some self-study, or even register for some trainings that can give you the necessary knowledge that you need. You see this ISO 22301 now. Let me think that within that 22,000 standards that ISO has, there are some that are closely related to ISO 22301. You can see environmental management system, health and safety assessment. You see, those ones tilt towards safety, which is a huge part of BCMS when it comes to employee safety, customer safety, and all of those things. So you see, learning that one can also come in handy when you're implementing your business continuity management. So if anybody here works within a role that is tilted business continuity at the moment, I would advise you to still look into all these other standards, such as 27,001, which is information security, then environmental health and safety. I think health and safety is 45,001. Then you have even 9,001 QMS that will help you optimize your processes within the organization. All of those standards, they come in handy. So I advise you to not just stick to only 27,001, but also look into all these standards that can also offer additional skills in terms of becoming a proper BCMS expert. So let's go. This is just the history, how it started, the previous versions of business continuity before they ended up at 22,301, the 2019 version. Who knows, maybe tomorrow they'll come out with a 2024 version. All of us here will have to go back and see what changes were made, how can we implement them within our organization, and how can we take advantage of any of those changes that I made. But for now, the latest version is 2019 version. So I advise us to maybe download a copy online. I'm sure if you surf, it's usually for sale. So, but I'm sorry, it's, we're in Nigeria, they used to pirate things. Usually it's for sale. Okay, let me not even say you can download it. You can buy it from the ISO website, right? But if there are other ways that you can get it, I'll advise you to get a copy of the ISO 22301 standard so that you can understand it more. This is just a 1 hour 30 minutes training. We cannot in any way cover all the nitties and gritties of the standard. So there's a path for you to go and learn on your own. So what are possible business continuity disruption scenarios? So let's quickly do a, before we even go to the examples we have here, can you give me some business continuity disruption scenarios? Okay, most of us, so what we will do is you say where you live. Let's say you live in what's the name, you live in Lagos. You can tell me business continuity scenarios related to you. So you know, if your organization is situated in Lagos, there are some unique business continuity scenarios that are related to you. So just give me examples of business continuity scenarios that you think are applicable to your organization, maybe based on its location or based on its industry. If you're in IT, okay, you are very much prone to IT breaches. Or if you're in manufacturing, you are prone to injuries and all of those things. So can we just give me some examples of business continuity disruptions in our organization? You can even use Nigeria as your own scenario. Maybe that's your organization. You know, all of us, Nigeria is supposed to be our organization, because at this point, I think we all need to even go to Astro Rock and be playing one role or the other. Anybody that can do anything should pick it up and start doing it. So just give me, okay, somebody said fire incident, social unrest. Okay, can we get more? Can we get more? Somebody said traffic. Omo, I can imagine. Oh, me, I'm in Abuja currently, but I can imagine what Jelil's eyes are seen in the hand of Sanwo-Olu, because the traffic in Lagos is crazy. Ha! But I think it's better these days, anyways. So we have fire incident, protests. Yeah, we have protests. That's true. Net. So in this time, in this place, we won't call it network. We'll call it network downtime, or network failure, or network unavailability. So network itself is not a disruption. Is when it fails, or there's this one, cyber attacks. Akim. So this thing, they are just examples, oh, because all these examples you have been given. Hope is example. All right. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for your examples. So let's look at the ones we have in our material. So we have internet downtime. No internet. We all know what happened 2 weeks ago. Is it 2 weeks or 1 week ago? We had to cancel a lot of meetings with clients, international clients that don't even care about what's happening in Nigeria. You have to tell them, you be doing hello, 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 no network. That's, and we know how there, it might not have affected you personally, but there are a lot of organizations that know how much they lost due to the lack of, or the unstable internet connectivity we had for the past 2 weeks. Can you imagine having bad internet as a bank for 2 weeks? People will not be able to deposit money. You will not have enough money to do your foreign investments, because the foreign people, nothing is happening to their own network now. But you are there. Peter, he said traffic here in Abuja could also be frustrating during school runs. So, you know, usually if you know it's resumption time, you need to leave earlier than the time you. So, those are some business continuity strategies you can put in place. You leave earlier than the time you leave to ensure you're not caught up in the traffic. But Lagos, if you like, leave by 4 a.m. You will collect, you will enjoy that traffic. All of us were in this together. So Abuja is better. Somebody said network is being threatened due to protest. So now in this case, who is the disruption? Where is the disruption originating from? Is it Tinubu now? We'll call the disruption. Abi, what we call this one now? Is it government induced suffering? We don't even know what this thing is. Even up till this point, it is not even, the network is not still stable. May God help us. So no phone. Maybe your phone was damaged due to hardware failure, or maybe your battery ran out. All of those things can lead to IT system unavailability, network failure, application inaccessible. Maybe the source code is behaving somehow at the back and is displaying an error message. All of those things can lead to IT system unavailability, information not available. Maybe people need to access their bank statements, they want to check their balance, they want to check all those things, but something is happening, maybe due to application problems here and there, and information is not available to the people that need it. Workspace unavailability, we have fire incidents, flood. Maybe there was an electric malfunction somewhere, some wire spark, it was close to a furniture. Before you know, everywhere went up in flames. I was looking at, there was this fire incident that happened. Please give me a minute. All right, so sorry about that. So fire incidents, or recently I was even seeing one video, one just imagine you are just doing your day-to-day business. You just even manage, you just paid rent in that area. I've forgotten what that area is in Lagos. And that total filling station was caught up in flames. And before I know, I started seeing fire trickling to my own. Before I can even pack file or carry laptop, I say, make I first save my life. Can you imagine that type of thing? So sometimes the fire might not even originate from your own location. It can be your neighbor, it can be anything. And before you know, you're in BC and you're like, God, what is it? Are my village people, have they followed me here again? No, they did not follow you. It's business continuity. You too, why didn't you do your research before you chose that location? Why will you go and open shop near filling station? Because you know, so you won't just consider your risk. You also consider the risk of people doing businesses near you. You get, so all of those things are aspects of business continuity. Then flood, automatically, if your office is in Lekki, just put it inside your yearly annual budget. Either you ensure that people can work remotely during rainy season, or you buy boats for all of them to be coming to work. Even your customers, you can even brand them. You can brand the boats, they'll be very fine. You can even open another business from itself and be using it to transfer other people to their own location when your people are not using it. Do you get, every bad thing, something good can come out of it. Office space blocked, maybe due to protest. People on the road, they're like, go back home. We're protesting for all of us. You want to go and make money. Come on, get out from here. So office space blocked. Vandalism, protest again. We know how many buses were burnt. We know, I even saw them, they removed one police station. I saw one iron condemned guy in one video. He removed the police station signboard. He has taken his own share of the national cake. So you get, vandalism are also possible things that can lead to business continuity disruptions within our organization. We also have stuff like staff unavailability, pandemic, earthquake, skill shortage. I don't know if you're familiar with Twitter, you'll be hearing even um their brother, they don't even know they are now in Germany. Is it HR they will tell before? Is it now HR they will tell before they go? HR that said you must give 1 month notice. I did not even tell my mother that I'm going, and you expect me to tell HR? Sorry, HR, you will hear 1 week after I land in Germany. So all of those things can lead to staff unavailability. Earthquake is not very applicable in Nigeria. It happens very, very occasionally. So sometimes you have the people, but they don't have the necessary skills. Maybe it's only one person that used to do everything. All of us, we just used to even buy him lunch because we know if this person leave this department, our hand should open. We don't know. We don't know what to do. So all of those things can lead to staff unavailability. What if that person is sick? You have human beings, but they are not even useful. They are unavailable now. They are not. That means they are unavailable technically. Supplier unavailability. If you check the CrowdStrike incident that happened recently, it was intertwined. It was from a supplier that to Microsoft that now still affected other people that subscribe to their system. So all of those things, just imagine, people couldn't access healthcare, people couldn't travel, people actually lost their lives due to that outage. So supplier unavailability is a very, very huge disruption. You might be thinking, supplier, immediately they do not give us what we need, we'll go to another place. But it's not that simple. You need to ensure that all your critical suppliers have um other suppliers, alternate suppliers that I can fall back to. Unavailability of critical infrastructure, maybe a bridge broke down, people cannot access the location, and all of those things. So, are we following? Are we here? Can I get some responses to know that we're here? Ebere said, yes, she's here. Wisdom is here. Jalil is here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's continue. 4 fundamental principles of business continuity. So when you're trying to implement a business continuity management system, what are some key things that form the pillar of the business continuity management system. So personally, I won't agree with these 4 fundamental principles, but I believe if you put these 4 principles in place properly, they can serve as a foundation for your business continuity management system. If I were the one, I'll make it 7, because awareness is a key part for me. But okay. But anyways, let's see the first one: getting management support. Obviously, you as an individual within the organization, you cannot be concerned about continuity of business more than the top management. It's them that have the largest share of investment. Highest, if business not continue, you will just go and apply for another job in another company. There's no any company that they are the only one that used to do something in this life. There's always job. The job might not be the one you like, oh, but there's always job. That's why I used to be surprised when some people say they've not gotten a job for 5 years, 10 years. Nah, say you've not gotten the job you like. It's not like there's no job. Even you today, if you stand up in Lagos, I'm sure they will offer you 10 different jobs. By the time you reach Oshodi, you tell them you want to start agri work. It's still a job. It might not be the job you like, but I'm sure they don't used to. There's no too many agri. We can always get openings when it comes to that type of job. Or you say you want to join those that used to clean the road. Okay, let me use better example. Sorry about these other ones that might look demeaning, right? But there are other jobs. You can even say you want to sell something. There's no shame. It's money. There's no smelling money. It's the work that might be smelling, but the money will not smell. So all of those things, there's always a job. So it's not your business if business continues. If management today say they will pack up, highest you suffer small, but you before you know 2 weeks, mostly in Lagos, there's always job. 1 month you would have even gotten another placement. So management support is very important. We can't take the continuity of business more serious than top management. So it's very important that the culture is built from the top and it drips down to all the various facets of the organization. If people see that, oh, we're doing a fire drill exercise, and the first person that is jogging down from the staircase when he had fire alarm was the CEO, even if they were not taking it serious before, they would be like, CEO, they run, better I did for you, they will pack their bag and start running. So it's very important that management supports the implementation and also actively participate in the implementation. So they should not do it as a afterthought thing. It should be intertwined in our culture as an organization, our meetings, our annual meetings, our monthly meetings, everything should be, you should always mention business continuity and what people need to do to ensure that it moves smoothly. Then you also want to do risk evaluation. So yes, management is on board, but if you don't even know the risk that can affect the continuity of your business, how will you prepare towards them? So proper risk evaluation is very important. So you don't just give somebody that is not competent. So you want to make sure that person works hand in hand with the enterprise risk manager, or if you don't have an enterprise risk manager, you get a consultant that is vastly experienced that will come and bring their experience from various organizations they've worked with to ensure that they properly identify the risks applicable to your organization, evaluate, analyze them, evaluate them, and ensure they propose proper risk treatment options within the organization. Then you also want to ensure you do your business impact analysis. So it's always advisable that you do your business impact analysis before your risk assessment. So this business impact analysis, the major goal is to identify your critical processes. So first of all, you want to identify all your processes within the organization, within all the departments. Then you want to identify the target time you intend, that's RTO, target time for recovery of all of these processes, and then maybe your MAO, maximum allowable outage, and ensure that, okay, anyone that has an RTO of so and so time and below, they are automatically critical. And that means critical processes are processes that if they go offline for too long, it can result in extreme negative impacts for our organization. So you need to do BIA to ensure that, okay, it's not every process within the organization is important, but not everyone is critical, right? So if there's a fire incident, or let's say coronavirus, and the government said, okay, for every organization, maybe only 10 people, so that there'll be proper space, so people are not spitting on each other and maybe transmitting the disease if they have it already. So you want to make sure that which key people are we bringing. So now, within your organization, if somebody, is there anybody that can volunteer for us to do this exercise, right? Let's do this exercise. You tell me the type of organization you have and how many What's your staff strength at the moment? Maybe you have 30 employees or 20. So if the government only mandates 10 people to be in one building, which key staffs or key members of staff will you ask to come physically to the organization? So some can do their work remotely, but some cannot do it remotely. So can you give me example of the key ones you would mandate to be among the 10 people that will come and work from the office? Do we have anybody that is willing to take on this exercise? So we can have some back and forth. Okay, why did you choose this one? Why did you choose this one? Why didn't you choose this one? Is there anybody that is willing to do that? The reliable ones. And then somebody can be reliable, but his contribution to the organization is not very critical, or maybe he can do it from a separate location. So some organizations have networks that cannot be accessed from a different location. You have to be on site to be able to access certain resources within the network. So those people now, the key people within them will have to be at the office, right? So who is willing to do this exercise for us? Is there anybody? You just unmute your mic. We'll just have like a small chit chat around it. Anybody who is our savior here that will just take on this challenge? Or should I pick somebody randomly? Should I just do tinini tanana within my people here?
Please come again with your question. Please come again.
All right, thank you very much. So I said, just imagine coronavirus, for instance, it happened again. So maybe because they want to reduce the it's a communicable disease, and when people are choked up in one location, it's easy to transmit, right?
Yes.
So let's say you have an organization of 30 people. Let's use a bank, because I think that's like an example that everybody can relate to, right? So, and there's only 10 people should come. Which who will you choose to come?
Yeah,
What
you choose only the people that are performing a critical functions for the bank.
Okay. Like example, which department?
Okay, for instance, maybe the IT staff.
Okay, maybe two people.
Especially,
I'll be two people
yes,
from there is fine, Abby.
yes, you choose
Okay.
from IT, you choose from
Mhm.
uh, no. It depends on the criticality anyway. I
Okay.
think IT is very critical.
Yes.
Even nobody.
Our example is a bank. We're using a bank in this case. Yeah.
Yes, the IT staff of the bank will be very
Okay.
the
So now you have 8 more people. Where will they come from?
okay. Another one, people maybe reconciling
Unit.
yeah,
Okay. That's
reconciliation.
customer service, I think.
Yes. Then you
All
also
right.
have
How many people? How many people? We have only 10. How many people come from there?
yeah, you need like maybe two people.
Okay, two.
One,
All
yes,
right.
two from
That's
each.
4 now. So we have 6 more slots.
Yeah. So you have okay, you have people dealing with maybe clearing. Yeah, maybe clearing the
Yes,
part.
yes. So that'll be in the account section, right? Okay.
Not really accounts. Like they call
Okay.
it business operations.
Oh, okay. Business
Yeah.
operations, yeah.
Operations
Another 2 people or one person.
yeah, you have one person in facility management
Okay, okay.
or two. Then you
Or
also
one or
have
two, so that they will be in charge of ensuring there's sanitizer, because obviously
exactly.
there's a communicable disease
Yeah.
flying
Then
around.
also even the cleaners.
Mm, Personally, I would not go cleaners, because we have even more important people. Top management will still come, or they don't belong in any department per se.
Yes. So, yeah,
Mm.
some of them can work remotely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can have top management working remotely. They don't have to be in the office anyway.
Okay, they don't have to be in the office. That makes sense. That makes sense.
So you have some other maybe in so I can't remember some of
Okay,
them.
you tried. Thank you very much, Abdul Majid. So
Yeah.
are you? No, you're not Abdul Majid.
Hakeem. Hakeem.
You're Akim.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know why Abdul Majid is on my screen. All right, thank you. Okay, Abdulmajid, do you have something to say? Thank you so much, Akim, for your contribution. Very, very, very solid one. I think you'll be the next CEO. Maybe you're planning Abi, or you have already even opened your own bank. Before we know, we'll see Akim Bank now. I'll now remember that is that Akim that came to business continuity training. No? Ah, all right. All right, Chukra, your mic is unmuted. Do you want to contribute as well? Okay, I think that's a mistake. I think she made a mistake. Okay, so let's look at what we have in the chat box. Oyin said for my organization, tech related IT staff and what? And sorry, and facility manager to power the office. So just one facility manager, all the 9 other people, tech staff, etik bashe, you people have collect work. You become even during coronavirus. Do you get? People like IT money, but they don't used to see the IT stress. See now, see Oyin's organization, or everybody's at home. She pack all the IT people to come to work. You see this life. To whom much is given, to whom much salary is given, much is expected. So let's go to the next. Peter said customer service, the heads. I would like to know what type of organization that is. If it's only customer service. Okay, say admin. Only admin. All the 10 people come from admin. Okay. I think we need further explanation. So Jeremiah said 2 customer service reps, 2 IT technicians, 2 security personnel, 2 tellers, and 2 ATM managers. Guys, Jeremiah wants to open a bank. Him and Akim, maybe they're even partners. He said he has disruption has not come. He says he has aligned everything. Very good. He said 2 ATM managers. He doesn't want to lose the profits that will come from loading ATMs. Now wow. Jeremiah, you like money, oh. Then Yomi said IT, audit and control, operations, or tellers, operation tellers, then clearing and facility. So the only one I don't agree with is audit. Because audit is a periodic activity. Maybe it's usually at the beginning of the year or middle of the year or every month. So usually they will not be critical throughout the year. So maybe that's the only one I do not agree with. Yeah. So Peter said customer service, head of operation, admin, security, audit, according to function. Good. He also put audit as well. Maybe people can explain what audit, why you people put audit. Yes, all right. Today is day 9, I think. Yeah, so Akim is like, you don't need internal audit, but internal control. Yeah, that makes sense. So we can replace audit with internal control. So thank you to everyone that participated. This was very, very interesting. I got to see insights and even learn from you guys. So you want to ensure your business impact analysis. The major goal is to ensure that you identify your key functions. So you see why we're having back and forth, because we've not done a business impact analysis. If you've done a business impact analysis, you don't even have to look here and there. You automatically know the top most important processes to you and what department they fall under. So sometimes when they even do their BIA in their BIA reports, they already have processes in. They will have a list where they align all their processes in terms of priority, in order of priority, from most important to least important. So automatically, if a disruption should occur, if you have that type of report, you just go count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to number 10. Who are the process owners of each of these identified processes? And you pick them and say, you need to resume at the location. Automatically, it makes your work easy. We don't even have to have back and forth. Before the person will say, me, my process is not critical. Oh, it's me that is sweet to catch coronavirus. Why didn't you carry Mr. Yomi? Why are you telling me that me I should come? So there'll be no back and forth. They already know that the reason why they're coming is because after the business impact analysis, their process was deemed critical to the organization. So you're getting your management support, risk evaluation. After you've done your BIA now, that you have all your critical processes, you'll now want to maybe do a risk assessment on them and say, okay, what are the possible disruptions that can prevent these processes from going as usual? And you prepare ahead of time. If they happen, we are ready. If they don't happen, glory to God. You get? So then business continuity plans as well. You want to ensure you have it documented somewhere. What are the response steps? If something happens, what should we do? If our server goes offline, what are the things? Even if I'm a new employee within the organization and they hand me the manual, this is all they hand me the business continuity plan, and the server is offline, I can just open to page 12 I already know, okay, check this IP address, call so and so person is our support contact person, restore this and this and that, check for this backup and do this automatically. Because the business continuity plan contains every necessary response step, I will not have difficulty in continuing that thing, even if I was not there when they developed the business continuity plan. You also want to have recovery steps in them. Response is, okay, what can we do to ensure that, okay, we continue at a certain level? Then recovery is recovering it back to how it was before the disruption happened. So these are the 4 core principles of business continuity management system. You want to ensure management is on board. You want to ensure you conduct your BIA. You want to ensure you conduct risk assessment, and you have business continuity plans in place. But if you want to implement ISO 22301 and audit it, you would have to do more than just these things have been identified here. So who can implement the standard? All sizes and types of organization. So the standard does not say you must have 2 servers, you must have 7. No, it is flexible. So it is what is applicable to this organization they will do, and it's the way they can do it. So there are some organizations you already know they are small. You cannot go and start because the standards say they must buy, they must have a way of ensuring redundancy or something. You cannot now be comparing them to a bank that can have a cold warm site, a hot site self, that is moving at the same pace with their current existing facility. They don't, a small organization might not have that financial capability. So it can be implemented across all organization types, sizes, IT company, bank, manufacturing company, whatever. All you need to do is tailor it to the context of your organization, right? Which is clause 4. We've already said NGOs, anybody, any and everybody is welcome. So let's go to the next one. Do we have any questions before we go to section 2 so that we can move fast? Let me quickly stop sharing this and reshare the other one. All right, can we confirm that we can see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right, so let's continue from where we left off. All right, so we've spoken about a brief summary of the format of the business continuity management system. We've also talked about examples of disruptions that can affect the continuity of our businesses. We also talked about the ISO 22301 standard. Then we also talked about benefits of adopting this standard, and also the core principles of the standard, which were 4: BIA, risk evaluation, management support, and business continuity plans. So what are the documentation requirements? So you remember earlier I said, if you're very much interested in this particular business continuity topic, it's advisable you get a copy of the standard. I told you it's for sale, but there are some places I used to see that it's download. I didn't download it though, in case, but you can download it online if you check. But it's for sale. Okay, so when you pick it, there are some mandatory requirements within all these clauses. Some of them you see, when you see shall, the organization shall, it is a mandatory requirement. You cannot say, I will do it, or I will not do it, I don't have money. No. If you don't do what has a shall, it can result in a major non-conformity. We can also result in not getting the standard as a whole. So if you see shall, it indicates mandatory requirements that you must carry out. Then if you see should, it can be recommendation. That means, okay, you can have it, but you cannot or you cannot have it. But if you have it, it's best practice and to be of advantage to your organization. Then if you see may, it's a permission. So if you're a Christian, you say not all things are. I don't know that this thing. This, if you know it, just help me quote it in the chat box. Not all things are easy, expedient, or lawful. So that one is permissible. If you see may, the organization may, or the personnel may, or the top management may, that one is a permission. Can, okay, if you want to do it, if you have the power, you can do it. But if you don't want to do it, you can leave it. But where you see shall, it is a mandatory requirement. So there are some requirements within the standard that you will see. The organization shall have a documented business continuity policy. So those are documentation requirements. You must have a document that says this is our business continuity policy statement. This is our commitment to continual improvement. In that same policy, it must be documented and communicated. So there are some documentation requirements. So if you even check online, you can see list of mandatory documents. If you know all of this is important, mostly when you intend to be audited. So the auditor will ask, because the standard already asks you to do it. So why don't you have it? You get. So some of them are mandatory documents. So you have to have a document where you capture your context of your organization. You have to have a document maybe inside that same context of organization document where you've identified your interested parties and their needs and expectation, where you've also documented your scope. Are we doing this implementation across our location in Lagos only, or across all our locations across Nigeria, the 36 states? You want to state it clearly in your scope statement, and it must be documented. It's not like one person will say, this implementation is only for Lagos, another person will say, but that day we were discussing is for Lagos and Abuja now. Another person, no. So it must be documented and very clear in a simple and defined terms. You also want to make sure you document maybe your executive support letter to show leadership commitment. You want to also document where roles and responsibilities have been assigned. So you choose people. Yomi is the business continuity manager. Akim is the deputy business continuity manager. Jeremiah is the business continuity auditor. So, and each of those roles, you want to ensure the responsibilities they'll carry out are attached to them. Okay, Yomi as business continuity manager is in charge of managing the team, is in charge of developing and communicating the document, is in charge of reaching out to management concerning this and that. And you want to make sure you've communicated that, okay, hello, Yomi, you've been appointed as business continuity manager. This is your role. These are your responsibilities, and Yomi is supposed to acknowledge it. Thank you for choosing me. I will not disappoint you. Thank you. And it signs. You get something like that. So you want to ensure you have it documented, because the auditor is definitely going to ask for evidence around these things. Then you go to clause 6, your risk. You want to have where you documented it that, these are the risks that will prevent us from achieving our objective. This is how we intend to prevent them from happening. All of those things, your objective, you want to ensure they are documented. So there are two different risk assessments within the business continuity management system. There's a risk assessment in clause 6, and then there's a risk assessment in clause 8. So if you see, these are the we can see where my cursor is. These are the sub clauses within clause 8. So operational planning and control, usually sometimes some people don't document anything. Maybe they only have maybe planning to change this document, or they have a document where they identify all the processes within the business continuity management system and how they relate with one another. Then your business impact analysis that we've been talking about, you must have a document, or if you use a software, whatever you do, we just want to make sure that we can see evidence of how it was carried out. So if you see, there's another risk assessment in clause 8, and there's risk assessment in clause 6.1, and there's risk assessment in clause 8.2. So the risk assessment in clause 6.1 is to address risk in terms of the business continuity management system. Any risk that will prevent the business continuity management system from achieving its objectives. That's what we are identifying in clause 6. But when you come to clause 8, we're focusing on the organization as a whole, risk that can prevent continuity of operations. That's what we're doing in clause 6. So let me still use that example of a house. So if we want to do the risk assessment in clause 6, like I'm planning to build a house. So what are the risks that will prevent my house from that will affect me from achieving objectives to meet this thing for my house? So maybe I have a time frame, 3 months. I intend to build my house from beginning to end in 3 months. So what are the things that can affect it? That's my objective, right? Number one, if I don't have enough money to pay the people that can build it. Because if you are using one person and you're using 3 people will finish faster. But using 3 people mean you have to pay more. So if I don't have enough financial strength, I cannot meet that objective. Number two, if there's if the project manager ran away with the money or scam me or something, I cannot meet it. All of those things. Maybe my other objective is to ensure that the house meets the top standards, the top building standards. If I not get a person with the proper skills, I will not be able to achieve that objective. But then if I want to do clause 8 risk, so now clause 8 means I finished building my house. So what can affect the continuity of that house? If I don't get, maybe if it's in a volatile environment, I don't get the proper security measures. Maybe I did not put a CCTV camera, or I did not put an electric fence, then intruders can come in. Or then another risk can be risk of collapsing. Maybe I did not purchase the proper material, but that risk of collapsing looks like a risk that can even cut for both clause 6. No, it won't affect clause 6 because I'll still build my house in the time I want, even if I bought fake materials. But in clause 6, clause 8 now, for that house to be standing and solid, if I didn't use proper materials, it will collapse and all of this thing. So I don't know if we properly understand the difference I'm trying to make between the risk assessment in clause 6 and the risk assessment in clause 8. Do we understand? Okay, Jeremiah says not all things are permitted, but not all things are of benefit. Exactly. All things are permitted, but not all things build people up. All right. So do we understand the difference between the risk assessment between the difference between the risk assessment in clause 6 and the risk assessment in clause 8? Nobody's answering. No, Abi, I should go through it. I should go over
Yes,
it again, right? I should,
we
right?
we do. I
Oh,
do.
oh,
I
you
do.
do. You know, Akim, you be Baba now. You that you already have your business proposal for that bank that you, with your partners. Please, does anybody have a problem understanding the risk assessment, the difference, so that I can go through over it again or use another example? All right, nobody's saying anything, so I would assume you understand. So there's a different risk assessment clause 6, risk assessment to the business continuity management system. There's no financial resources. Top management is not committed. We have low manpower. The people that are assigned roles and responsibilities are not properly trained. All of those things are risk for clause 6. But clause 8, data breach, fire outbreak, network failure. So you can see there are different types of risk. So clause 8, you do your business impact analysis, your risk assessment. Then after this risk, you've identified and analyzed them, you put strategies and solutions in place to ensure that, okay, you exploit this risk and ensure that they don't come to light, or even if they come to light, they are properly contained. Then you also have business continuity plans and procedures in place that contain response steps, recovery steps, people with roles and responsibilities. So it contains basically everything that should be done if a disruption occurs. So if a fire incident occurs, first of all, use the nearest exit near you. On your way, click the fire alarm. Check if your colleagues are complete. Check if anybody's in the toilet. Just don't use the lift. All of those things are response steps. Recovery steps can be contacting the insurance company to come and evaluate the losses that were made and recovering and maybe rebuilding the building, repainting, and all of those things. So our business continuity plan should contain recovery steps and response steps. Then activation criteria. When do we exactly say, okay, yes, we need to activate our business continuity plan? Who is in charge of doing that? All of those things should be captured in our business continuity plan. Then you have your exercise program 8.5, where you test your business continuity plans and you also test the strategies and solutions you've put in place. If one of your strategy to combat a risk such as employee, maybe staff attrition. You know, staff attrition means people are rapidly resigning, always resigning. Maybe that time when the jackpot just started, you know, a lot of banks faced major issues because you see their applications will just be misbehaving because their key hands are leaving at a very fast rate before they even recover from the last person that left and that person has left. So let's say you have that type of risk within your organization and you want to put a strategy in place. So you can put a strategy such as succession planning. Immediately this person leaves and this outsourcing company that gets automatically gets competent people for you, immediately another person leaves. All of those things can be strategies and solution, business continuity strategies and solutions that periodic data disaster recovery test. Okay, you want to ensure that you can stimulate a situation whereby automatically disrupt all the activities going on your network. Then you recover it from your backup. When you recover your backup, sometimes some people, when they recover their backup, that's when they'll see that the last information they can access is the one from January. All the ones from February to March, nobody has been backing it up. That's why it is very important to do periodic exercises to ensure that okay, everything they are meant to do, they are doing it properly, and there are no loopholes here and there. Exercises create opportunities for lessons learned and observations and all of those things. Then evaluation of business continuity, documentation and capability. All the mandatory documents that are meant to be in place, have they been properly documented? Your capabilities, okay, your risk assessment is supposed to cover this, and this. Did it cover it? And all of those things. Then your closing.
Precious, we can no longer see your screen.
Oh, really? Sorry. Thank you. Let me. All right. So can we see my screen now? All right. So I think we can see my screen now, right? Okay.
Yes, we can
So
see your
we
screen.
have clause 9, clause 10. Clause 9, where you do your monitoring, MMAE, monitoring, measurement, analysis, and evaluation against your objectives that you set in clause 6. So you want to make sure you evaluate them. Were we able to meet these objectives that we set here? When you get to clause 9, if you check it, okay, we're not able to meet it. How can we meet it? You put it in place. Then you do your internal audit, your periodic management review meetings, exceptions raised from the internal audit, you document it in your CAPA log, corrective action and prevention log, or your continual improvement log, where you also identify your corrections that you put in place and corrective actions to address the root cause of those exceptions. Then continual improvement, like I said earlier, no system is perfect. There's always, always, always room for improvement. So implementation process. So basically, this is like a project life cycle, or yeah, we can call it a project life cycle. So it's step by step. So first of all, prepare business case and get management approval. So maybe this one can come from the angle of the compliance department. They can say, okay, the reason why we want to implement a business continuity management system is to ensure, we're regulated by CBN. They've mandated us to have it to ensure compliance to that requirement. That's why we want to do this. Management will say, okay, because we don't want to lose our license, let's go ahead. We will do it. They approve it. Next, you go into the project proper, you identify your project team and all of those things. Then you initiate it, manage it, you document, you evaluate. Awareness, definitely you must do that, is a requirement in clause 7 of the standard. Then you go to your clause 8, you conduct your risk assessment and business impact analysis. Still in clause 8, you do your readiness strategy. Then you go to clause 9, internal audit and management review. And then you are on your jolly way to certification. So we have what we call the PDCA cycle: plan, do, check, and act. So all of these things we have here, they are, or let's say the clauses and their subclauses as well, they are segregated into plan, do, checking, and acting. So when you see all the clauses and activities within clauses 4 to 7, they are all under the planning phase of this cycle. So plan, establishing policy, steering committee. Maybe steering committee means the people from business continuity manager, auditor, assistant to process owners, risk manager, all of those things, they are under the steering committee. All of those things, they form under planning. So we're planning. The actual place where you do something or actively do some particular implementation requirement is clause 8. So only clause 8 fall under the do aspect of this cycle. Clause 9 fall under checking automatically. When you're doing internal audit, you're checking the level of compliance to the requirement. So you check, then you go to clause 10, corrective action. That's when you act. Okay, exceptions raised from the internal audit, how can we act on it to ensure that we nip it at the bud? All of those things are in clause 10, which fall under the acting. So this is an iterative cycle. It doesn't have beginning and it doesn't have end. You can always, from your acting, you can still go back to planning, doing, checking, and acting again. So it's a continuous cycle. So like I mentioned earlier, clause 4, 5, and 6 fall under planning. Clause 8 fall under do. clause 9 fall under check, and clause 10 fall under acting. So it might come out in some examinations that you write, what does the PDCA cycle stand for? It stands for plan, do, check, and act. So let's say now we want to implement business continuity management system. They've commissioned you with a project to implement it within an organization. So what are the things that you are meant to do? What are you meant to put in place? So first of all, you want to identify
Hello, everyone. Please let's exercise patience so we can get her back on the call.
Sorry, we can't hear me?
I think you were logged out.
No, I was talking. Okay, sorry. At what point was I logged out?
Just few seconds ago.
Oh, okay. Maybe. I don't know. I didn't even know that happened. But I already spoke about the plan to check act cycle, right?
Exactly, yes.
All right. So now we're going to proper implementation activities. If you're commissioned with a project of implementation within an organization, what are the actual, we've been talking about different things since. So what are the actual things that you're meant to do? First of all, you want to identify the organization's products and services and document them somewhere. Okay. Quick teller, what are their products? Okay, sometimes products might not be physical products, it can be applications, it can be any of those things. You document them, you work hand in hand with the product manager. How many products do you have within this organization? Or if the person is a manufacturing company like Unilever, what are their products? Oh, they do bathing soap, they do this, they do that. So you document it somewhere. And their services, okay, quick teller does I think transferring money for people, all of those things, you document it somewhere, and activities that they deliver. Then secondly, you want to analyze the impact of not resuming that activity. So what happens if we are unable to ensure that people can transfer money? Let's say we're in quick teller now. What will happen if we can't transfer money within 30 minutes? What will be the financial impact, or what will be the reputational impact? So you choose your impact types in relation to the context of your organization. So when I'm doing BIA for a bank now, these are the types of impact I want to look at: financial impact, reputational impact. I want to also look at legal impact, because banking industry is a highly regulated industry. So I want to look at legal and regulatory impact. I also want to look at customer impact, because every bank, their customer is a very, very big part of the organization. So you can add other impacts. But you see, because they're a bank, I won't really look at something like environmental impact. But if it's a manufacturing company that releases toxic gas into the air or something, I want to consider environmental impact. So you want to analyze the impact of not resuming those activities across certain time frames: 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. What will be the impact? Then maybe you can have a scale where you say, on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest, what will be the impact? Then you document it somewhere. So all of those things will form the basis for you to choose if they are actually critical processes or not critical processes. All right. So next, you want to ensure that you understand the risk of disruption and also assess the risk. So you determine, okay, when you determine your priorities, okay, this process is critical, this process is non-critical. This is the time frame we intend to recover this process. Unless if we don't meet this time frame, the impact will be too high on the organization. These are capacities, these are the strategies we have put in place. You want to understand the risk of the disruption and assess it. Arrive at a risk score. If this risk has a risk score of 20, the other risk has a risk score of 4, obviously you don't need to focus more on that risk. You need to focus more on the one with a high risk of 20 and ensure that you bring down the risk score by adding additional controls to ensure that that risk does not come to light. You want to also have solutions and plans in place. So if they have different risks, like I mentioned earlier, staff attrition, you want to make sure they put partnership with outsourcing companies or succession planning in place. If they have a risk such as prone to flood, you want to ensure that they have a remote working plan in place where people can work from home when they can't access the physical location. If they have, maybe if it's in a state like just that there's always ethnic violence, you want to ensure that people, obviously another a strategy that work for that will also be working from home. Then if you have a a risk like fire, you want to ensure that you partner with an insurance company to share the risk, so that if that fire incident happen, no matter what, no matter the losses, at least it will be sub reduced for you by the insurance company. So for every risk, there's a strategy and solution you can put in place to combat it. All of those things are things that you need to do if you're implementing a business continuity management system. You also want to ensure that the arrangements are routinely reviewed. It's not enough to have these arrangements in place. You want to ensure that you periodically exercise them. It could be annually, it could be monthly, depending on your capacity. It could be biannually. Just make sure that they are periodically examined to see if they are actually working. Let's say you want to do periodic fire drill test, and that's the day. Thank God it was a fake fire, because the moment you wanted to use the fire extinguisher, that's the day you discover that it has expired and it couldn't off any fire. So what would you have done if it was a real fire? So that's why exercising is important. That's when you realize, oh, the person that is supposed to be maintaining this fire extinguisher has not been maintaining it. You take that observation, take it, put it in practice, and ensure that they maintain it all the time, and test that the fire extinguishers are working. So the advantages of periodically testing cannot be over emphasized. So what are the all right, so I think my screen has gone off. I think anytime I hear this meeting is being recorded. Seen that? Am I the only one period?
You are trying to come back. You were logged out and you're back again. Hello, Precious, can you hear me? Please, let's be patient while we get her back on the call. Thank you.
Oh, I'm back. I'm back. So it says this meeting is being recorded, then it mutes my mic. All right, let me just reshare my screen. All right. So first of all, when you want to do your business impact analysis, identify the department, processes within the department, their impact, or if a disruption to occur to those processes, what will be the level of impact across different time frames. Then you get all the required resources related to that processes, the individual responsible, the resources required, dependencies for that process, all of those things. You document them and then you prioritize them. Okay, this one is critical, this one is less critical, this one is non-critical. All of these things must have criteria. Then you also want to identify their RTO, recovery time objective, their MAO, maximum allowable outage, MBCO, minimum business continuity objectives, and then RPO, that's your maximum data loss recovery point objective. So RTO is the target recovery time for every process. So every process must have an RTO. Maximum allowable outages. Okay, if we can't meet our RTO, if our RTO is 3 hours and we're unable to meet it, but our MAO is 12 hours, we're saying if we can recover this process within 3 hours, no matter what happens, before 12 hours, we must recover this process, because at that point, we'll start having extreme negative impacts. Then minimum business continuity objective. So it's like the minimum MBCO is like the minimum level of service delivery acceptable to the organization during a disruption. You also identify that one. So optimal level is 100%. So what level of delivery is acceptable? Is it 50%? Is it 70%? And it's highly dependent on the criticality of that process. Then your RPO, it might not be applicable to all processes. Recovery point objective, maximum data loss. So it will relate more to processes that use data, maybe that have backups. So if you do your backup 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. every day, automatically you have a 12-hour lag. That means if there's a disruption that occurs by 5 p.m., you might have lost about 11 hours worth of data. So for some processes, they are so critical to the extent that your RPO should be real time. Immediately somebody clicks, letter L on their keyboard, it should be backed up immediately because they are so critical that you can't lose any data. Maybe something that relates to money transaction. Because if you lost the data and I came and say, oh, I deposited so and so amount, but because you lost the data, you don't even know if you can dispute it or not. So all of something like that should have a real-time data backup. So those are the things you do in your business impact analysis. You identify your RTO, your RPO, your MAO, maximum allowable outage, your MBC, your minimum business continuity objective. Then you prioritize your processes. Any BIA that you do that you didn't end up prioritizing your process, it's incomplete. Is it critical or less critical? Then you go to your risk assessment, do a risk assessment on all your critical processes. What are the possible, since these processes are very critical to the existence of our organization, so what are the disruptions that can possibly affect these processes from moving smoothly? We identify them, and then we go ahead to put mitigation controls in place to ensure that if they happen, they don't affect us too much. So that's that for the training for today. I would have liked to share some real life scenario examples. Maybe I should just quickly share this one so we can do one example and then we are done for the day. Just give me 1 minute while I try to share this particular example. Ah. All right, so we can all see my screen, right?
Yes,
All
we
right.
can see your
All right.
screen.
So let's see this real world example. They said in 2010, in the Gulf of Mexico, the United States experienced one of the worst offshore environmental disasters where 200 million gallons of oil accidentally leaked after an explosion at the Deepwater Horizon oil rig. Over 1,000 miles of coastline was affected. Therefore, and there was a catastrophic effect on wildlife and businesses. So just imagine the amount of lawsuits they are going to be getting after this type of incident. Number one, animal rights. So it said this meeting is being recorded. So I guess my screen has stopped sharing. Let me reshare it. So first of all, they are in trouble with the government because they've killed wildlife, and maybe there are other businesses that work on the water as well, and it has affected them negatively. So you should know that lawsuits will be flying all over the place after this incident occur. So which company was the owner of the oil well at the center of the crisis? So what they say? Oh, they think we know this exercise. Let's just choose anyone. It's BP. All right. So based on what you know about the disaster, how effectively, oh, we don't know what we know. So let's just, but I want us to see what they recommended. So they said BP was widely criticized at the time by the US government and beyond. Can you see how important business continuity is? This type of incident now, it didn't only result in a national issue. It caught because it was on the which shore is that? Deepwater Horizon. So you know it cuts across continents. This type of disruption cuts across continents or cuts across various countries. So it was criticized at the time by the US government and beyond. Its response was generally considered to be poor. So you will see that maybe it was when they were not prepared for something like that. It was after it happened they started looking for what they will do. That's why the response was generally considered to be poor. However, on its website, the company noted the Gulf of Mexico oil spill demanded a response at the order of the magnitude never required before. Do you hear? They said they've had issues in the past, but they didn't expect something with this high magnitude. So when you're doing your business continuity plan, don't be doing it based on the level you've done before. Do it in a way that it can contain, let it be highly scalable. If the disaster is higher than you intended, you should be able to contain it. If it's lower, you should still be able to contain it. So your business contingency plan should be scalable and like flexible. So the reason why their response was poor is because the response required was at a magnitude they've never required before. So they learned a great deal from it, made advances in response technology and system, and they are updating their group requirements and sharing knowledge with other companies in that field. Correct. So this is an example of what headlines of the headlines that would be flying when something happens. All of these things, can you see, they are all business continuity incident. Echo activities target 10 bank branches. If you don't have proper business continuity plan in place, it won't stop them from targeting you, but you will not be among those that will be losing data or might maybe have to pay money to recover your data. See another one, ransomware attack takes Travelex systems offline. So maybe they don't have disaster recovery in place. They don't have a warm site or a hot site that they can seamlessly move to, that within 1 day or less they can continue operations, but it took them offline. They say, if you read the context of the news, I think it took them offline for a number of days. Then you see banker behind bull works, leaving plans in chaos. Can you see this one? This is a key man risk. You have plenty of organizations, only one person knows how to do everything. They didn't invest in other people. And everybody's just like, thank you. It's God that even brought you to this department. Until the day the person resign and gets a better offer, and everywhere is upside down. A lot of this thing happened to banks within Nigeria recently. Network Rail head calls a halt. So the head of the organization, he just decided that, oh, he's done, and now there was no successor, and he gave them a short period for resumption. If they had succession plan in place, automatically they don't even need to beg him. They'll just be like, oh, after you is Mr. So and so, please take over the position. He has gone. You see why how it's important to have business continuity in place. Bank CEO quits after money laundering scandal. So business continuity ensures that you do all of these things are risk that you would have analyzed before they even happen. You would have checked, okay, are duties, responsibilities properly segregated? Is it the same person that is to approve and disburse? All of those things can lead to money laundering. So some of those things are real life business continuity scenarios that we can see that business continuity is no joke. It can literally cripple any organization. We've seen that in the incident of CrowdStrike recently. Do you know how many customers they've lost due to this small thing that happened? That was not even their fault. That was a third party supplier's fault. But now they have to take the repercussion for it, and they are going to lose a lot of customers because now organizations, and it was so bad for other organizations because they also didn't have alternate vendors for that particular um activity that CrowdStrike is an information security based organization. They didn't have any other person, any other vendor that they can seamlessly move to. That's why it's important to have alternate suppliers for all your critical functions. Akim said succession planning is very important for critical, very, very, very true. Critical people, critical suppliers, succession planning is very, very important. Then we also see the recent network downtime we're having. If all these organizations had other plans in terms of network, maybe they have Ethernet, they are not even depending on the ISPs, they have their cables running, they will not even. All right, I think I went offline. So we also have a recent incident where there was a jackpot wave in Nigeria. People were losing their key hands. So that one presented more than three risks. Key man risk because key people within organizations were leaving and they didn't have succession plan. Staff were leaving at a rapid this thing. Even if they are not the key people, they will not be able. Okay, I'm no longer sharing my screen now. We're just wrapping up the meeting. Veritas. All right. So the extent to which business continuity is supposed to be taken important, it cannot be explainable. It's excess. So if you're having trouble considering your convincing maybe your organization to onboard certain business continuity requirements, you shouldn't have too much such a hard time. There are a lot of real life scenarios that you can put in your report and successfully convince them to take business continuity seriously. So that's that for today. Like I said earlier, this is just a short training. It can't properly cover all the requirements that are captured in the ISO 22301 standard. I advise you to pick a copy of the standard, read it and understand it more on your own, and then also do your research online, check different things, arm yourself with, maybe you can even follow news websites that you can see how people, different challenges people are facing in line with business continuity, and implement it or prevent it within your organization. I don't know if we should look at more examples. I have some examples here, but I think our time is done, right? Edit, our time is done, right?
Yes, Precious. Yes.
Okay, all right. We have other examples, but I guess because of our time, we'll not be able to go through all of them. Thank you, everyone, for your participation. I'm grateful to everyone that participated, interacted with me. Hopefully, we'll meet somewhere else where we can discuss this business continuity at a larger scale. Thank you very much. Okay, you
Thank
said,
you.
could you
Okay.
share a template for BIA and risk assessment? I could, but then I don't have your contact. But I'm telling you, whatever you need is online. Trust me. Just Google it. You get more than different templates to app. So all what is left is harming yourself with the right information to be able to carry out the BIA and risk assessment. Thank you
Okay.
so much, everyone.
Thank you, Precious. Okay, for the person that asked for the BIA and risk assessment template, you could send it to us, then we'll send it to every one of them.
Okay, all right, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know if anyone has a question before we let Precious go. Any question? Any question? Okay, if we do not have any, can we just applaud her? Can we just appreciate her? She has done a very good job for ISO 22301. Thank you so much, Precious. I actually
Thank you.
enjoyed
Thank
your
you.
session. Yeah, thank you. All right, everyone. Okay, she's no longer sharing her screen, please, because we are ending that session for now. Okay, so please, if you are unable to fill up the attendance, you can chat us on our WhatsApp line. I know the network has really been bad for a while now, so just chat us your name on the WhatsApp line. Okay. Okay, so we are supposed to go on a break, then resume for the third session. But since we started today's class, our trainer for that very session has not been able to log in due to network glitches, right? So please, we want to sincerely apologize again because we are going to be postponing that's business analysis class today again because he is unable to log in since morning. We sincerely apologize for that. So it means that for today we are taking just 2 sessions. All right. Thank you so much for your understanding. So before we call it a wrap for today, a quick announcement. All right, like I earlier announced in the morning, there will be a Facebook Live session with all of us, all of you on this call. We would love to have every one of you on that live session on the 18th of August. It's going to be in the evening. Time is going to be communicated on our WhatsApp platform. Please, we want you to be there. We want to be asking you interesting questions and we would need your honest feedback. It promises to be very interactive, okay? So please mark your calendars. On the 18th of August, we'll be having Facebook Live session with all of our participants for this 12-week program. Thank you for that. All right, next announcement is about the video challenge I talked about earlier today. So there is a 50,000 naira worth of prize to be claimed for first, second, and third position. So what you are going to do is make a video, a 1-minute video, telling us how Transformation College has changed you or has improved your life. Also, post the said video on your Facebook handle. Tag Transformation College of Business and Technology and invite friends to like our page. Also get at least 5 of your friends to follow and like our page. Also, the video must be posted on Facebook on or before 19th of August. So you might decide to start posting your videos from today onward. You shouldn't wait till 19th of August. So this challenge ends on the 23rd of August and winners will be announced on the graduation day, which is 31st August. All right? Winners will be selected based on the highest number of likes. Note, the college will award 20 likes to the video that speaks the most value to us. Please, the flyer is going to be sent to our platforms for more clarification, all right? Thank you so much for that. If you were unable to if you were unable to fill up the attendance link, please chat your name. So to end today's announcement, for some of you who are yet to do your assessment, I beckon, do your assessment as at when due. This week, today is the day 10 of this 12 weeks program. We are gradually wrapping it up. So do your assessment. Deadline for all pending assessments is this week. We will not be attending to any other inquiry about assessment after this week. So please do your assessment. And if you are still on the general group, maybe you have made payments, you were not sent to the paid group, please chat me privately, okay? Because I feel there are some persons that are still in the general group, you are not on the paid group. Please chat for clarity. Thank you. I think that will be all for today's announcement. Follow us on all of our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. Engage on our post, like our post, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, so we will call it a day. Thank you for, is anyone
Hello.
saying something?
Yes.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, I saw my name on the list of people that have not done one particular assignment.
Okay.
I actually do all my assignments. I don't know why.
Who is speaking, please?
Akim.
Akim, okay. Probably you did the assessment late. And if you did it late, it means I couldn't capture that because the result has already been recorded. So it means I'll have to request for the result the second or the third time. Okay, I hope that answers your doubt.
Okay, so you need do I need to send something to you as evidence that I did it or what?
If you wish, if you wish, there's no issue with that. If you wish, okay?
All right.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. If you
Hello,
have
good afternoon.
good afternoon, please go
Okay,
ahead.
my name is Happiness.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to have a clarification. The paid group, is it the one they named CP24?
Exactly. CP24.
Okay. All right. Okay. Just to confirm. All right.
Thank
And
you.
I have a bad network because presently I'm in the east. I lost my mom. We just buried her, so I've not been able to work on my ISO because of the network. I'm having issues there, but I know with time I will. Please, if there'll be extra time, I'll be able to do that when I get back to Lagos this week.
Okay, sorry, first thing, sorry about your loss.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Please, like I said earlier, we no longer have time. We will not be attending any other, once it's after the graduation, we won't be talking about anything certificate anymore. So you have just these few weeks or few days, yes, to sort out what needs to be sorted out and on time.
Thank you. No problem.
We don't want to have the issues we had some other time. After the graduation, people came that this and that. So that's why I keep saying, do your assessment on time. And for those of you you are yet to send in your ISO certificates, please do so. Send it on time. Like I said, this week is the last week for that. For all assessment, if you have anything you want to tell me, you can private chat me, okay? Oluwatobi, please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Messi. Good afternoon. I don't know if I had missed this already, but what about the outstanding ISOs, for example, the cybersecurity and others? I think by the timetable we're supposed to probably have that today or so.
Yes, I understand what you're asking. So by the time we handle that very course, you would do the assessment accordingly. So what I was talking about is the pending assessment, the one we've done from week 1 till today. So you are given just this week to do everything. And for the remaining courses, you will just do them that week. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. Any other, please?
Yeah, Kim again.
Okay.
Are we supposed to send the ISO certificates?
Yes, you are.
What you guys
I've been
have?
sending that on the group. Yes. There is a particular email address that I sent to the group. Please send it to that very email address.
Okay, I will look for the rates, but if you can kindly...
I will reshare.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. So if there is any other thing, Oluwatobi, do you still want to say something? Okay.
No.
Okay. So without any other announcement, if I have any, it will be shared on the group. I just want to wish you all a very beautiful weekend, all right? And a very blessed week ahead. Be yourself and stay blessed. Bye. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Happiness. Bye for now.
What is it? Let me see. Ah. What? He put what? You swallow it.